Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to become a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you would like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also PayPal, Patreon, crypto and thanks button in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreons, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So, a massive shout out of thanks and appreciation to Moon Harvest, Armishertha, Naughty Thumbnails, Mitch Kennedy, Original D-Rose, Rod, The Name's Burley, Todd Wazzle, Jason Hornsby, Christoph Fournier, Flat Earth Travolta, J Melds24, Unimento, M Iron26, Endless, Flat Earth Sage, Golden McKiernan, Retro Bill, More Books, Fibre Oats, John Kays, Patrick Gunnels, Banter, Mel B. Styles, Hairy Blade, Mobile Max 777, Rob W, Reese Pound, Del West Watson, Maria Nealands, Unbelievable Productions, Blue Ridge Ranger, Abraham Mohammed, Skeptic 936, Life is Short, Texas Mike, Tina Baker, David Wayne Foster, and Dank. So another massive thank you to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now I will hand over to whoever is in Discord and Google so you can enjoy their dulcet tones while I set up for today's live show.
It was done around the time of Flattoberfest, so October, I think, this year.
Boy, people love poison.
Give us a lowdown then. What is the video?
It's a guy called Oliveira, I think you said, and he just looks into things, and this time he's going to investigate Flat Earth. And according to him, he's doing it honestly as well. So.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, I've got it queued up. Then we'll cover that. Yesterday's video choice.
There's got to be a way.
Oh, sorry, Neil. You go ahead.
My reception's going in and out, so I might be roboting. There's got to be a way to divert them to this channel.
We don't control the algorithm, Neil. The only way to direct people to this channel is to literally direct them to this channel. What I mean by that is we're not receiving any algorithmic love, so we don't just organically pick up people watching this video. Like yesterday, in the middle of that stream, Adam said you can have this as a thumbnail. This is make a good thumbnail. I was like, yeah, okay. So what I normally do when I want a thumbnail is I pick up my iPad, go to my own live stream, and then just take what's on screen. I leave it on screen long enough to screenshot it, and then I've got something ready to go as a backdrop for whatever I put on top of it. FED 2003 or 4 in that case. I lost track of the numbers. I think it was 2003 yesterday. Was it? What number was yesterday's show?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong guy.
It was 2004. So
I came back at show 2000 was Friday, right, or Thursday?
Yeah, this isn't going to be helpful.
That's when I came back.
Thank you. So yesterday was 2004. So that means I've put the number for today's show wrong. Okay, let's just change that. The thumbnail's always wrong until I know what the show's going to be about. Anyway, that was a good show because it was a good pick of video by Paul.
Yeah, QE went over it again. I think QE has a little thing for this video girl.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, I tried to contrast because I think when it's someone like that, they'll turn around. You probably picked up on this and say, "Ah, you're just jealous. I've got a great life and I'm beautiful, therefore you're jealous." And having met people like that, I want to take that away from them as quick as possible. So in my own way, acknowledging, yeah, you've got a great life. Yeah. I could even say I'm jealous of it. I'll give it you. By give it you, I mean take it away from you. But you know what I'm driving at. Anyway, while I was doing that, my wife, after the fact, came in and was like, why are you gushing over this girl? I'm like, I'm not gushing. I'm taking that away from this prissy girl who could, and in the past with people like that, have tried to say, you're just jealous. Yeah, you're just jealous. In other words, give you a hand wave dismissal with that. Like, well, in terms of what I called or predicted in terms of her behaviour, having not seen the video prior, I got high praise for predicting how she'd behave copying homework in that regard. It's like, well, yeah, that's because I've met that type of person plenty of times. So the fact that they'll come back at me with X, I'm going to respond to it preemptively. And that was that. But like I say, when my wife just happened to be earwigging, I'm going, oh, isn't she beautiful? Or something like that. She's like, what? Hello? I'm like, no. No one is more beautiful than you, Paula. Of course.
That's a fact.
It is.
I would find that statistically impossible.
What's statistically impossible?
That your wife would be the most beautiful woman on the earth.
As far as I am concerned, she is the most beautiful woman on the earth. What are you trying to say?
That's all that matters. But statistically, it's like all these, even like supermodels. I find like a couple of them. They said, "Oh, they're so attractive," and I'm like, "Yeah, as models they're attractive, but as women, not necessarily."
Yeah,
Nathan, what do they say about statistics, Nathan?
Well, it's a Vic Reeves quote, actually, or gag. Vic Reeves said words to the effect of 62.7, I think it was, percent of all statistics are made up on the spot.
How do you put a statistic to a subjective standard?
You don't. Can't put statistics against beauty. It's in the eye of the beholder, and the standard is, as you say, arbitrarily ascribed by the beholder. So if in your standard of beauty, you defined it as woman versus model, okay, so coat hanger for clothes to hang on and look pretty, versus what I'm going to just arbitrarily ascribe as your opinion of, you know, somebody who's loving and caring and a good homemaker and beautiful and cares for their appearance all day long, even when they're doing the gardening, something like that. Let's just say arbitrarily ascribed to contrast with just a coat hanger. And you'd be right in your opinion. But that's just your opinion, and you can't give it a statistic, which is the point, isn't it? Statistically, is my wife the most beautiful in the world? Well, others would disagree. I agree, yeah. Doesn't matter. She's the most beautiful woman
Forget
as far
about
as I'm
that.
concerned.
John, I listened to that show again. Yesterday's Uncut and After show. I like AI and everything, but I don't know what's going on with him. He's always attacking you. I don't understand.
We encourage that.
I don't think most people understand the point I'm driving at, and because other people are using it as a catchphrase. Like when you say rotation, the moment you say the word, you invoke a plane of reference, and the R value you need is the diameter, or if you double the radius of that flat plane. I'm saying that plane of reference. That's the R value you need, not a spherical R value. So when you say axial rotation, you need an R value for that. You need an R value of a flat plane for that.
This will be the best example ever of that adage that information like this is initially mocked, then it's violently opposed, and then it's just accepted as normality. So initially, this particular argument point was almost poo-pooed under the rug by the people on the panel. None of them are here at the moment, so I'm not going to say any of their names, but you know who you are, right? And then very swiftly, it was, this is the wrong time for this. This is the wrong argument. It's a bad argument. Now, it wasn't said in those ways, but I'm going to paraphrase it as though it was to keep this concise. And then it moved on to, I already made this argument 2 weeks before you did. That was literally the arc of the argument with some of the people we've tried to, notice how I'm taking some of the credit with we tried to bring on board with this argument. It's not mine at all. John pulled me on that. I don't know if you saw that refracted. QE was like, in your little oh so high and mighty speech to the bimbo about knowing and doing your research and therefore dictating a high value from your oh so loyal subscribers and Patreons and members. It's like, yeah, I made a note of that your research is worth that high value. I'm like, yeah, the research I've got from all of you and plagiarized constantly, but you do it and I do it, and it's perfectly accepted and everyone's happy with that. Copyright Nathan Oakley 1980. Anyway, shh. He doesn't know yet that argument about gas pressure and vacuums and how it would actually have to weigh less. That's copyright mine now, but he'll find that out in a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
Oh, hello, Brian.
Hey, Nathan. Hey, everyone.
Hello. I really enjoyed
What's going on?
yesterday's show, so much so that I turned it into a 22-minute video about Coriolis effect. Very, very rarely would I do that. I hate Coriolis. It's so hard to turn it into a decent video that isn't under an hour with all the arguments in tow. Well, in that reaction video, I got Simon Dan with your reference frames are ruined. We got Matthew Learns with his axial angular rate to make it seem slow. We got Pancake Girl, absolutely brilliant. I even took Adam's advice and put her lying on a pancake with a speech bubble for science, and then Dan and Matt in front of them with ruined underneath, and the title, Cute Coriolis Scientists Ruined TKOR Pancake, Simon Dan and Matthew Learns, ball smashed. So if that ain't clickbait, I don't know what is.
Very good.
Yeah, I don't even know how they get the Coriolis effect now. I was trying to describe it the other day on the show, right? We'll just say a ball, like you're spinning a ball on your finger, you're a Harlem Globetrotter, you're just really good at spinning a ball, right? Now, imagine your finger disappears. The ball's still just floating in space, right? All the rotation of the axis will be described from a plane of reference. And those planes of reference are multivariant, depending upon the R value of the diameter of the ball or that circle of the ball along that radius. Does that make sense?
No.
There is a plane. Okay, a gyro is a good example. What does a gyro do?
Establish a plane of reference in space.
Right. And the way it does that is 90 degrees to its axis of spin, right?
Yep.
That's its plane of reference. Now, a gyro is not two-dimensional. So apply the same standards to the ball because it's the same principle. At the largest point of that ball, you have the radius of the ball, right?
Yep.
But what you actually have is the radius of that plane of reference. You have a flat plane of reference. Now try to apply that to the stars.
I understand it.
No, that's where that's where I don't understand. What do you mean try and apply that to the stars?
We observe star rotation, right? That's the claim, right?
Yeah.
Well, you're not holding the ball, are you?
No.
So where would you have to be if the stars are rotating?
Appear to rotate.
No, I
You'd
get
have to be on the
that.
wall.
Just don't convolute it. What you're saying is, to describe it, you must be stood on the horizontal plane of reference. To have an axis.
Well, you must be on a plane of reference. It doesn't have to be a horizontal plane of reference. And see, then they'll invoke the orbital plane as to tilt that axis of rotation and make the flat Earth at an angle. Within their description, they'll remove orientation from it. It's a little, but they still have you on a flat plane.
And what's the other one? The second declination of the, what was that one? You detailed on two shows ago. There was a list of 3.
I'm not exactly. Oh, you're talking about the Keplerian elements?
Yeah, you said there was 3 of them. You dug them out. you remember? It was a few days back.
Yeah, it's the argument of perigee, which is your elevation angle, pretty much, you know. And then you have your eccentricity, which is one is a horizontal baseline, right? That's your deviation from horizontal dictates its ability to escape gravity, right?
Okay.
So if it deviates above the horizontal, it can escape gravity. Is a kind of a joke, you know, because there's no horizontal on a sphere. It doesn't make sense, you know. And the other one was so much stuff to remember. I think periapsis.
What's that?
It's an angle measure. I can't remember if it's left to right angle measurement from the plane of reference, or I'm gonna have to look it up again. I got it wrote down.
Oh, okay. These are unfamiliar terms.
Depend on the star rotation.
Sorry, go ahead, Brian.
I'm just saying it'll depend on the star rotation, what direction you'll be referencing it in. As in, John said he thinks it's left or right.
Yeah, but this doesn't really have anything to do with that in describing their orbits. What I'm saying is to have an rotation at all, you need a plane of reference. The word itself invokes it. It's part of its meaning.
Well, if you're going to, I understand what John's saying. No matter what you do, if you're going to invoke a rotation outside of yourself, outside of where you stand, then you'll be invoking a plane at that point. So a tangent plane will be invoked for that rotation.
No, you can't invoke a tangent when you're talking about an axis to rotate about. That's devoid of any connection to a tangent, Brian.
No, the tangent will still be, because if you...
Okay, where are you going to go? You're going to say that they're going to have to transpose it. I know where you're going to go. Just let me summarize it. You're going to say that they'll invoke it so they can transpose it to infer an axis of rotation. But when they're just detailing an axis of rotation, factually speaking, there is no connection. It is devoid of connection to tangents when you're just describing an axis of rotation. That's a fact.
Yeah, but you're going to be describing it from a surface, Nathan.
Well,
if you are referencing the surface of a sphere, then you're going to be invoking a tangent plane.
Exactly. That's John's point.
Yeah, but that's what I said. You're invoking a tangent plane.
Just let him say it, Brian. Hold on, Brian. No. Just let him say it. Go ahead. Refracted.
No, you're not. You're talking about an axis of rotation. You're not talking about a tangent to anything.
Well, your tangent will be parallel to that axis through the center.
Hello, guys.
Why are you rumpusing him making the main point with the same objection? Hold on. You're rumpusing the point with the same objection that he's responding to, Brian. That's very unreasonable. Then Arwen introduces himself. Wonderful. Yeah, can you just let him make the point once without interruption, please?
Is my sound good, Nathan?
Yes, you sound great, actually. Thank you. Go ahead.
Thank you.
Third time's a charm, Brian. And Arwen. Refracted, go ahead.
I'm not going to interrupt this time.
Maybe put enough bloody distance that I've got to start the live show between him and he's making his point. Thank you so much. Not amusing.
The inosphere, onosphere argument is what you're getting into the moment they invoke a tangent. They don't understand what rotation is at that point.
Yeah. As soon as you start talking about that, I think of the tire that AI was talking about, the wheel.
What the hell are you babbling about?
Yeah, hello everyone.
Yeah, hello. Live show and all that stuff. Good to have you all. Glad you're all warmed up.
That's why we said live show. I just kept going with the conversation he had.
Hello, Discord. Hello, Johnny. Sorry about that. Go ahead. Feel free to say hello.
I'm glad to be here. Thank you.
Oh, I'm glad to know you're glad to be here. It's been an enthusiastic start. Or maybe too enthusiastic. Hello, Arthur. Good to have you.
I have to ask Johnny if he's sober first.
Hello, Nathan. Hello, everyone.
Hello, good to have
Good
you,
to be
Arthur.
here.
Okay, let's do some housekeeping. Feel free to join in from Discord. What haven't we had for a while? Any evidence of a self-perpetuating molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth?
I keep thinking of the wheel that AI was talking about.
No, there is no evidence of self-perpetuating molten iron core at the center of a presupposed spherical Earth. No, absolutely none.
We'd have to deal with this,
No.
otherwise Neil will have, like, rumpus Tourette's. What wheel? What are you babbling about?
They were talking about the rotation.
Not you, Brian. Oh my God.
Leave me go on here.
It's not even been going 2 minutes. Neil, for the love of Jesus Christ, please inform the audience what wheel you're babbling about.
The one AI brought up when they were having that debate about the plane of reference don't have to be flat or something like that. They were talking about it just now, and Brian knows what I'm talking about. So take over, Brian.
I'll take over with an argument that I had involving a disk, right? That I can stand on a sphere, and at that point, there can be a disk made through the sphere, right? But I am still standing on the edge of the disk and rotating around with the edge. I don't have to stand on the flat surface of the disk. I am still going around in a circle.
That's lovely.
In a sphere, on a sphere. I told you, I've repeated that to you how many times? Are you in a sphere or on a sphere, Brian?
I'm standing on, at that point, I'm standing on a sphere.
No, well, okay, you're standing on the celestial sphere spinning on the outside of it. That's what you just described.
Yeah, I'm describing standing on a sphere. I didn't say anything else other than a sphere. I'm standing on a sphere.
Right, you're standing on the celestial sphere. Right, you're standing on the celestial sphere. You're describing your rotation.
I didn't say celestial. This is not going to work. This is not going to work. Because if you're going to add in words that I haven't used, then how am I supposed to have this conversation?
Well, okay, in his defense...
Neil, this is why I didn't want to have this. I wanted to do what we always do.
Hello? In his defense...
They're forcing it.
Yeah, he is. He's trying to connect it back to the claims of a globe Earth and how they're referenced in discussion. So it's not unreasonable.
He's not.
If you're giving a hypothetical example that is devoid of connection to the globe Earth, then number one, disclaim that. Number two, why? What use is that?
I'm not claiming, I'm talking about a sphere. I can believe that I'm standing on a sphere and rotating. I don't have to invoke a plane for me to believe that I'm standing on a sphere that is rotating.
Okay. Okay, so your rebuttal, okay, let me just get it clear. Your rebuttal is that you can engage in the reification fallacy of standing on a sphere without invoking anything. Yeah, okay. Wow, that's great.
Yeah, but but there you go. I don't invoke. I'm not invoking a plane of reference.
Yes, you are. When you talk about rotation, rotation requires a plane of reference 90 degrees to that rotational axis. That's part of the description of rotation.
No, I'm going to claim I'm standing on a rotating sphere, and then you are placing a plane of reference underneath my feet.
No, stop.
What does it matter?
No. You're doing the same thing. His rebuttal to you, John, is to say, I can engage in the reification fallacy of standing on a rotating sphere without doing anything. Yeah, you can. He's correct. He can just engage in that reification fallacy without invoking anything. As long as he doesn't attempt to describe anything about the rotation to you, he can just fantasize about standing on a rotating ball if he wants to. And he's right. He doesn't have to invoke anything to just reify that notion.
But what do they say? The apparent spin of the stars. So where is your plane of reference to describe that rotation from? Because you do need one.
What did they say? They say that the stars are not moving. We're actually rotating because we're in the non-inertial reference frame, and the stars are the inertial reference frame. So they only appear to rotate due to the Coriolis effect.
So what you've done is you've taken yourself off the sphere, put yourself on the plane of reference, and turned the plane of reference.
Correct.
Why do I have to turn a plane of reference to be
Why
on a
did you?
rotating
Well, you
sphere?
tell us you did it.
Well, why do I have to be on a plane of reference just to stand on the outside edge of a sphere?
Not quite. Not future tense. Why did you, when you invoked the not actual drift of the stars in Coriolis effect, that ipso facto requires a horizontal plane of reference to describe it. I'll just stand corrected if possible, if necessary. Not horizontal necessarily, just a plane of reference. Correct, John?
Yes, 90 degrees to the axis of rotation. It's part of how you define rotation.
Gotcha. Yeah, so you absolutely require to describe 90 degrees to that reference, which doesn't necessarily have to be horizontal, but you will still need a plane of reference to describe the rotation to infer Coriolis deflection in the stars as you describe it with respect to a plane of reference. You did that, Brian. So you answer us, why did you use a plane of reference?
But I didn't use a plane of reference.
You did.
That's the point.
Yes, you did.
I didn't. Well, Neil can drive around a roundabout near Newark Airport or wherever the hell he was and look up and see an airplane that is appearing to take a curved path.
Yeah.
Right?
And?
He's not 90 degrees to the axis of rotation.
No, because he's not describing anything. He's just seeing something happen. He doesn't.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Attempting to describe
I'm seeing something happen.
Yeah,
I'm seeing something happen.
Okay, heard the first 3 times. I'll try and get the statement out. Yeah, but he can just look at it and see it happening without attempting to describe it. The moment you attempt to describe what he observed to another person, you invoke a reference plane to do so. You did it when you described the claim to be not actual deflection of the stars with respect to a plane of reference. The 90-degree rotational axis that you're describing that not actual deflection with requires a plane of reference that you used. You did. You don't have to like it.
So
can I say something about it?
No, you can wait. Go ahead, Brian.
Okay.
So the Coriolis effect requires a flat plane of reference every time.
Just a rotation. That's John's point, but I'll let him take over.
I invoked the Coriolis effect.
Yes, to answer your question first and foremost, but just rotation. And Coriolis is a description of a rotating, non-inertial, turning reference frame. So that's rotation. So, but regardless of the answer being yes for Coriolis, moreover, and more succinctly and simplistically, just rotation. I'm going to hand back to John. Please don't rumpus him. Go ahead, John.
Right. That's why it's to try to answer your question. Whenever they try to demonstrate Coriolis, have you noticed they always use a flat disk?
I didn't notice anything. I'm asking the question, right? I asked it to you. I asked it to Nathan, and I didn't get an answer, so I'll ask it to you, John. Does the Coriolis? Are you claiming that the Coriolis effect requires me to be standing on a on a flat plane of reference?
Is he still there? I think he's dropped. You can put it to me if you want to.
Can I say something? You forget. They also say at the atmosphere, so-called atmosphere, that's oxymoron, I know that, is rotating with the inertia.
Okay, that's not what we're discussing, Johnny. No. Okay, that's fine. We're not discussing that, though. Yeah, we're not discussing globiolis. That's not what we're discussing. Yeah, we're just discussing rotational axes. That's it. So with respect to Coriolis effect, that in turn has nothing to do with atmosphere at all.
Yeah, I just want to point out what oxymoron everything is about. That's the answer that we get. Of course, it's about the inertia. And
Johnny, this is about a separate thing. This is a separate thing from.
But they are saying the atmosphere is rotating with the non-inertia.
Yeah, it doesn't matter what they're saying. This is a separate issue from that. That's not what we're talking about.
The reason, okay, I've got to clarify it now because he brought it up. The reason Johnny's saying that is because anti-flat earthers call what we have defined as globiolis effect Coriolis effect. So they mislabel this description of Earth and atmosphere moving on together to negate Coriolis effect when labeling it as Coriolis effect. So when you're into a wrangle-dangle about Earth turning underneath as a non-inertial turning reference frame to induce not actual deflection of aeroplanes and bullets and footballs, that's the globe Earth claim. But when you point out that doesn't happen, they then have to mitigate for the fact that this drift does not occur. So they start to tell you about how Earth and atmosphere move together. That's not Coriolis effect. But that's what they're saying to...
Yeah.
Thank you. But that's what they're saying to mitigate for the fact we don't observe Coriolis effect. And when they mitigate for the fact we don't observe Coriolis effect because Earth's not turning, they call their mitigation Coriolis effect. Confusing most people. We're trying to, Johnny, keep it separate. For the love of fuck, man, how many times have I got to just say, stop interrupting? You'll know when I've finished because I'll stop. We're trying to keep it separate, Johnny, by only concisely detailing, in this instance, with Brian introducing, to convolute it slightly, the rotational axis describing Coriolis deflection from a frame of reference. Brian's question is, well, can I be on a rotating frame of reference that's sphere-shaped? He hasn't got an answer yet, because John dropped. Well, I can answer him. Yeah, you can be on a globe-shaped roundabout that's got a curve to it. Imagine a roundabout on a kid's playground that's dome-shaped. Can you stand on that and rotate? Yeah, you can, but the minute you describe the axis of rotation for the sphere surface, that will be referenced to the plane of rotation. 90 degrees to it being the axis, and the curve that goes between your axis on that kid's roundabout and the plane that's referenced if describing it is still a prerequisite, Brian. You used it. It doesn't matter if the surface curves on that kid's roundabout, it's no longer a flat plane boards on a circular cut so you can stand flat. You have to sit on your back with your back arched against a curved surface. It doesn't matter. The rotation of that curved surface as a ball, as you have asked, still requires the prerequisite description from a plane of reference. About the 12th time, but you want to brace against this. Now's your opportunity. I have finished.
What I want to brace against is the forcing of this argument upon me when I don't think it's always relevant. That's what I'm bracing against, Nathan. Right? You will do your best to leave John as much. Hang on. You do your best to leave John as much time as possible to talk, right? And I've listened to you. You have a bias when it comes to this argument. You think it's absolutely ace. I don't. I knew the Earth was a flat plane in 2015. Knew, not believed, knew. And I knew then they have to use a flat plane for absolutely everything they want to claim. Yes, I understand that. But that doesn't mean that I can just continually bring up this, oh, you're going to get flat Earth for that. I don't need to continually bring that up. Or if you want to continually bring it up and John brings it up, fine. I don't need to always do that.
And I thank you. I thank you for bracing against it so it can be refined into its correct position in this discussion. However, you had the same exact attitude when I explained about sucking the air out of a vacuum and the weight that would be induced. You know, it took ages to massage you into accepting it. Now you've taken it as your own bloody argument.
No, I haven't. The point is with that argument. Let me go with that argument.
You're all keen to go through this argument now. You braced against it when I put it to you 2 weeks ago.
Let me ask you a question then. Right? How come you didn't embrace that argument like you're embracing John's argument?
Because I didn't understand it.
Well, I suppose I can't get out of that then.
You helped me not understanding it. I tried to summarise it, right? So we were on one of the live shows. You went through it, and everyone braced against you. It was the same scenario. That's why I brought it up, ironically, with me being the claimant, not you. But irony aside, for comedic effect, that was the same scenario. Everyone was bracing against you. Now, not suggesting that it's because you don't understand this, Brian. That is not what I'm suggesting when I juxtapose my ignorance in that regard. But on one of the live shows, I admirably demonstrated my ignorance in that regard. Because you've gone through it, everyone's arguing and trying to shut you down and convoluting the point That's why I blamed him. Like, it's because everyone else was interrupting Brian. If it had been concise and succinct and I could have just listened, I'd have got it. Now, that's probably not true because you've gone through it half a dozen times prior and I still haven't got it. But regardless of my defence, I tried to summarise it and failed miserably 3 times with you just getting more and more wound up. No, it would weigh more. Right, Brian?
Yeah.
It's rotation business.
Go on,
It'd only be 90 degrees on the equator. Every other point would require a separate, different plane.
No, it would
generated
not. The
for your point
axis
of
itself.
rotation.
No, that's wrong.
For example,
that's
on the
incorrect.
45th,
Oh,
on the
that's wrong.
45th latitude, you would be at 45 degrees. Your plane that you generate at the 45th latitude would be at 45 degrees to the point of rotation. At the poles, you'd be on the same plane as the point of rotation.
Yeah, the point of rotation, which requires a plane to describe it. It's the axis. When you say you're 45 degrees with respect to it. Therefore, ergo, it's a prerequisite. It must have a plane to describe it.
No, the ball doesn't.
Yes, it does.
No, it doesn't. It just requires a coordinate system. There's no plane applicable to the ball in 3D space.
Give me a coordinate system that hasn't come from a plane.
No, it doesn't. No. You can make a plane on a coordinate system, but the coordinate system isn't necessarily a plane. It's just a coordinate system.
But it will be in this example, always.
No.
Give me one that isn't.
I take a ball and I stick it in a 3D XYZ coordinate system.
I hate this. You immediately take it to a ball that isn't the ball we debate. Some conceptual ball that isn't a ball we're going to...
I can take your Earth ball. I'm taking your Earth, then.
Give me a coordinate system that... my original question stands. Give me a coordinate system that hasn't come from a flat plane in that regard.
XYZ.
That's just XYZ. That doesn't mean anything in terms of the discussion that we're talking about.
I'm describing the rotation of the Earth using XYZ coordinates.
Then you'll need a plane of reference to describe the axis, to have it rotating about.
No, I won't.
Yeah, you will.
I need a line.
What? Okay.
I need a line.
That line's the plane of reference. Okay, sorry, I'm interrupting you. Sorry, go ahead.
I need a line for the ball to rotate around. I don't need a plane. I just need an XYZ line from coordinates XYZ1 to XYZ2. That will then define my line of rotation.
I'm not following this.
I know I'm not bracing against it to be an arse. I'm bracing against it because I don't agree with the first premise.
You are a mathematician, so strictly speaking, you must be right.
No, I don't have to be, but I
just winding Brian up.
I don't see why. I don't see why I have to invoke this plane initially. There's no mathematical reason for me to invoke a plane. I have to invoke a coordinate system, of course, to be able to describe it. If all I'm describing is a ball rotating,
because it's part of the definition of rotation.
Yet.
Because it's part of the definition of rotation.
What is?
The plane of reference that it's going to be described with respect to.
No, that's only when I get onto the surface of the ball in reality and I want to describe the movement of the stars from the surface.
The action or process of rotating on, or as if on, an axis or center. The act or instance of rotating something, one complete turn, the angular displacement required to return a rotating body or figure to its original orientation.
If you take an X, Y, Z coordinate system and you place a sphere within it, then you're going to have the axis through the center of that sphere, the Z axis through the center of that sphere, and you're going to have the XY plane through the other across the halving it. Let's just say, right?
Done.
Right.
There you go.
Yeah, but,
John, that's John's point proven, isn't it?
Standing on the surface of the sphere.
Stop! Can't you stop at that point where it makes John's point to Adam?
Okay.
Well, there's John's point proven, isn't it, Adam?
Just say it again for me, Brian.
Yeah, if you're going to place a sphere into an XYZ coordinate system, then the Z axis is going to be straight through the center in a vertical orientation, let's just say.
No, it doesn't.
Perhaps,
No.
Well, when I said
No, let him reject. I want to hear the object. Hold on, Brian. He's heard it. He's got enough. I want to hear him reject. Go ahead.
Go on, Adam. Yeah.
Not if we're describing the Earth rotating, then the line of axial rotation will be 23.5 degrees off of that, intersecting into the. That's why I said you've got to describe
Off of
it
what?
as X,
Off of
Y, Z
what?
one.
Off of
to
what?
X, Y,
Stop, please,
Z
please. I
two.
beg of you. Off of what? 23 point whatever degrees. Off what? The plane of reference.
No.
Yeah.
Off that axis.
The axis is with respect
There's a line.
to a plane of reference, though, isn't it? That's how you're going to describe the degrees of it.
No.
How do you describe the degrees of it then? How do
I've
you
not got a plane. I've not drawn a plane yet. I've not invoked a plane yet. I've invoked a ball and a line. I don't need a plane yet.
When you say a ball and a line, you've got to have all three axes to describe the ball if you're going to have it three-dimensional.
Yes.
So you can't just have a ball and a line. What do you mean? You've got an axis.
No, I've got a ball that I've described in my X, Y, Z coordinates. And through that ball, I'm going to draw an imaginary line, the line of rotation that the ball is going to rotate around. Now, in the case of the Earth, I'm not going to just stick it through the X-axis or Y-axis like Brian suggests. I'm going to have to angle it to meet that same way in which the supposed Earth's rotation is. It's offset to 23.5 degrees. So my line would stick out in a positive way on the X-axis, a negative way on the Y-axis, and can be independent on the Z. But that's then going to describe that line in the X, Y, Z coordinates of which the ball will rotate around.
Positive in the X and negative in the Y, still with respect to the Z-axis, which is a plane.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
It's an axis. It's not a plane at all. It's a
Perpendicular
Z-axis.
to the axis in your coordinate system is a plane.
No, you can invoke one there if you want.
It's already
I
there
haven't
in the
invoked one
coordinate
yet.
system. What are you
There
talking
isn't a
about?
plane. Unless you draw one, all we've got is a ball and a line.
Can I clear up what Adam was pointing out?
So in respect to Earth, not describing anything, just the musings and imaginings and reifications of a ball with an axis drawn through it, and I just reify the imaginings of a ball, but do have the fantasy of an axis drawn through it in this very specific scenario, then you win because no plane is invoked. Oh, well, kudos.
No. There is, even if the Earth ball was real, there is no pole sticking through it. It's only an imaginary line of axial rotation.
Yeah, perpendicular to a plane.
No, it's not perpendicular to anything.
The axis of rotation will be
No, the
described
axis of
perpendicular
rotation
to
is
a plane.
around the line.
You've got a three-dimensional system to describe that, and you've got an axis. Axis to what?
An axis to the ball. That's what the axis is for.
And it's going to rotate, and it's going to rotate about that axis with respect to a plane.
It's not with respect to a plane. It's with respect to nothing. It's with respect to the actual rotation.
Yeah, and the axis
I have to kind of agree with Nathan here, Adam, and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
Because the line that's going to come from the center out to your feet at 45 degrees latitude, right? That line that will be touching your feet and going through your head and become your zenith, right? That line will be with respect to a horizontal plane. That's how we're pointing from a central point.
No, that's not where he went yet. I don't want. He's not going to get that, Adam. Yeah, no, he hasn't gone there yet.
I'm messing things up. I'm sorry.
He hasn't gone there yet. He hasn't got me there yet. He's just got me with a ball. It could be Earth, though, right, Adam? But just with a line drawn through it with an axis, and he's just going to describe how it spins around it, like if it's got a toffee apple on a stick and he spins it.
No, I'm not. I'll go back to the Earth. I'll forget the ball. Every time I'll use Earth then. So we've got this imaginary line of rotation that the Earth's spinning around, because it's not really spinning on a pole. Yeah, it's just rotating around this line.
Yeah, I got that.
That's coming out the top, like Brian's talking about his zenith. Those two lines aren't the same. At every latitude on that ball, where you're going to take your measurements from, you're going to create a separate plane to take your measurement with respect to now.
Yeah.
On the surface.
Now you're going to come to it. Now you've got your ball. You've set that bit up where no plane was involved. Now to relate your real world measurements to your supposed rotating ball, you're now going to have to set up a plane of reference on the surface of that ball to make your measurements from reality have some kind of relationship to this spinning rotating ball. So you say I'm at the 45th latitude, that's where I draw my plane of reference on the ball. That's the first plane I've invoked.
No, because that plane will be with respect to the axis, and that axis has a perpendicular to it that's a plane described in your coordinate system.
No, it doesn't.
You've got a degrees off that axis to describe where you fantasize you're going to make your plane from, which you can't get anyway. But that isn't where you're going, so I'm not going to take you there. But regardless, that plane that you draw out on the surface of the sphere that couldn't be acquired is going to be detailed with respect to its angle to the axis, perpendicular to the plane.
No, it's not. It's not. So when you create your sphere there, your plane of reference on the surface of your sphere, your point of rotations, that's not relevant.
You're going to describe the axis. It is absolutely relevant. You've already got it ascribed and describable within a coordinate system for it to be an axis. Therefore, one of those axes is going to be a plane to describe it on.
No.
I have to say, I don't really understand what you're talking about. I will ask you.
Adam, if you're going to put your money on
I
who's
really
right.
want to ask you, Adam. If I can ask you, Adam, if you're in a high altitude in airplane, you have a coordinate system. Yes, you can draw a line and you can get it right for your flying route. But what about the reference frame to the ground? It has to be flat. Really, it has to be if the coordinate system will work. If you really. Yeah, so it can work.
Yes, you're correct. But I did, as I said earlier, although he's not necessarily invoking the inability for a glober to get a plane of reference when he's on a claim to be curved surface. That's not what Adam's describing. He's just saying, well,
yeah, but Adam is saying he can draw a line and in the altitude, and maybe in the high altitude, he can make some kind of coordination with that. But I not agree with Adam, so I really want to ask him, what about the reference frame to the ground? What's your answer?
Tell him you'll need a flat earth so we can get back to it, Adam.
Yeah, that is the second point, and that's where. So all I'm saying is I can't see how I can invoke it, and I can't see the argument myself. So the people are confident, don't use it. But for me, I couldn't argue that because it's not how I'm seeing it. As soon as we get to taking a measurement of the stars, we have to invoke a flat plane, because the way in which we're going to describe that position of the star is with respect to the flat plane we generate, either on a flat Earth or as a tangent on a ball. That's when we need the flat plane to make the star's position have reference to that flat plane we've made.
Okay, well, do you want to hear my cognitive break is where every example I can envisage ever happening has a diagrammatical example of a globe Earth talking about how the stars work. Now, you're taking it to a place where, no, you've just got this simplistic example that doesn't require a plane of reference to describe an axis through a ball. Just a line and a ball is all that's required. But I have a mental break there because I can't picture a scenario where that's an argument they can take without taking me to a hypothetical example that isn't Earth. And you can say, well, I can if I just take it to Earth and just do it in that manner. But I go, well, where's the practical application for them to be making that stance so that it's so devoid of any connection that they can get away with it as you have?
There isn't.
I would also say,
let me Adam answer. He wants to defend this.
I only want to defend not using this argument at this initial stage of the debate. So I wouldn't use it at that point, because I think mathematically you can make a reasonable argument, that there isn't a plane there at this point. It's only when I'm looking at so they're talking about Coriolis or stars, whatever they're doing. As soon as we go to a measurement of a celestial, that's when I have to have a flat plane of reference.
Okay.
And that's when I'm jumping
Hold on,
away
Johnny.
from
Hold on, Johnny.
Yeah. Does that make sense, Nathan? I don't want to use it. I can't use it. Honestly, I can't see how I can justifiably use it in that first bit. But the second that I'm on the surface of that ball and I want to take a measurement, I have to invoke a flat plane. Have to.
Okay. Well, maybe we'll hear more about it from refractive curvature.
That's the. I go after Johnny. Johnny,
I was going to say, you go.
I just want to point out to
Johnny.
You have to take in the stars and everything is moving, and all the time you have to take the time and calculate it. And if you don't do that, then you will you cannot use it as a coordinate system without calculation. And I will tell you, you are taking in the stars and that. You don't need to do it, just like Nathan Oakley was saying. So the only thing that you really need is a reference plane, a flat plane. Then everything will work. Therefore, everything is working. You can really assume this flat around, then it will go. But it will work. Why do you think it will work? Because it is so. And if you're taking in the star and the celestial bodies and so on, then you're talking about something that is moving, is changing, and also maybe apparent.
Agreed. And I don't want to cry that. That's a worthy point to demonstrate your understanding of. And Adam would agree. But at that point is where Adam would suggest that we do get into the wrangle-dangle of saying you're going to need a flat earth for it because it's been invoked past tense, as opposed to the moment they suggest axial rotation of any description to suggest at that stage that you're going to need a flat plane for that. Adam suggests it's premature. If I'm summarising his position correctly, Adam, am I?
No, yeah. I don't oppose. Premature is the exact correct word. Yeah.
Sorry, Adam.
Well, for me, I don't know if you view it like that, right? But just for me, that particular argument, that's how I would address it. Because my most devastating point, they haven't got a get out in my mind. Then, when I bring up that flat plane, they're destroyed. There is no wrangle dangle.
Okay. I mean, I object because I'm lazy. And I just see a shortcut that's being covered over and bushes planted there, and I can't take the shortcut no more. That frustrates me.
No, Nathan, let me clear it up, right? Let me clear this up. Adam is correct, right? Because before they take a measurement, they're dealing with their belief, right? But when they must take a measurement, they must address reality. And that's when they need a flat plane.
No, I get that. No, that makes sense in my mind.
This is the nuance. This is the nuance you don't like, but it's right. So while they're in their belief, they're not invoking anything other than their own belief.
No,
it's when
I
they
totally
address
get that.
reality.
That's why I was getting frustrated. He's talking about globe Earth. Now, in my mind, while I'm arguing with Adam in this devil's advocate position, I'm saying, well, therefore, Adam's position must be that he genuinely believes that is the world he's standing on. Therefore, when he says it, it's not a hypothetical, just a globe with an axis through it that he can describe in his belief about the world. Your point, Brian, he's not invoking anything at that point. It's not referencing anything. So it's unreasonable to say you will need a flat earth to reference. He hasn't referenced anything yet, right? He's just stuck in his belief at this point. At which point I can nod him on, right? Yeah, and? Yeah, that's a fascinating belief. And? What's that got to do with the world I actually inhabit? Your religious rhetoric. The moment he starts talking about things we experience in reality, you're damn straight he's going to need a flat earth for that, and that's the point to invoke it. No, good job.
Yes.
I'm glad I'm clear on that now. You feel stupid when you don't get something quite fully. You know what I mean? That's why I wanted to thrash it out. I don't mind, for my audience's benefit, being that ignorant guy in this regard. If you don't get something, you don't get something. I've got no lack of humility anymore. You know, the amount of stuff that you get wrong and you get browbeaten over. It's like, I don't care. I'd rather be the example.
I'm only taking my opinion on my understanding. I'm not citing any maths textbook. Yeah, I'm going on what I understand it and how I would build that and how I would describe it. If somebody wants to pull out and say, when you create a sphere in a coordinate system, you automatically invoke. There are planes there, but they're not related to the thing you've invoked. But if someone wants to demonstrate, I'll quite happily say I'm wrong. I've got no problem with it. Just genuinely, if I was arguing it, I couldn't argue that point because I can't invoke the plane in my own mind at that point in that part of the fantasy. And the way Brian describes it is correct. It's when you go to. I said it's when you take a measurement, and Brian says it's when you go to reality. It's the same inference, but it's as soon as you try to invoke it to reality, it's then you've got to invoke your flat plane just to give that measurement a reference. What's it reference to? It's always going to be, and we know that they're referenced to flat planes. That's how they're described.
That's wonderful, Adam.
I'll agree. I'll concede.
Sense.
Right, at this point, I'll concede because unless you're invoking anything in physical reality, which is what we're discussing, it's unreasonable to hold them to task on their beliefs. When I'm sure you can find plenty of quotes from me saying you're entitled to believe whatever you like. So no, you're not invoking a flat plane when you've got your little fantasy and you can describe a rotation value. No worries, you're not going to need a flat plane for that, and it'd be unfair at that stage to do so. I can just hand wave it though, can't I? So what that you believe this?
Yeah, exactly. As soon as they say 15 degrees per hour or orbit or anything like that that would involve calculation based off of a measurement, then, right? Because as soon as they invoke anything that involves an initial measurement, then that initial measurement always started on a horizontal plane.
Perfect.
That's the only, no matter what that
we'll leave it at
they
that.
are invoking.
Yeah, no, well, that's absolutely perfect ending to this, unless we've got some more to add, or more is to be added by Refracted Curvature, who may disagree with the first premise that I've conceded, because he might not agree. Not that I was speaking on his behalf. It'll be we if suddenly, he gets the victory. In the meantime, John could be wrong.
I guarantee he disagrees.
Well, we'll find out on a later show, won't we? We'll leave it as a cliffhanger in that regard. But I feel more learned thanks to mostly Brian's last statement, but to summarise all of what Adam has just gone through, a painstaking effort to do so. Thank you, both of you. Right, we're going to move on, though. So today we're going to cover...
we keep on with the housekeeping.
We did do housekeeping. I asked about molten iron core, and then we've just moved back onto axial rotation in light of yesterday's show. So, we've done a bit of housekeeping. Couple a day, John. Couple a day.
Okay.
Let me ask a question, Nathan. This is something I was thinking about.
You're not the boss.
You know when Wolfie, just on the Coriolis effect, because you mentioned the Coriolis effect because of the video you trimmed out from yesterday's show. Remember when Wolfie said, and people incorrectly say that they're correcting for the Coriolis, right? They don't even reference the word effect or force. They just say they're correcting for Coriolis. This kind of nonsense, and it's rampant throughout the world that people like within different disciplines say this nonsense. The only question really is important would be if a pilot, let's take Wolfie of it, just a pilot, thinks that he's correcting for Coriolis, right? Or wants to make some outlandish claim that he's correcting for Coriolis when he knows he never corrects for anything like that, right? He or she, just like that lady yesterday said that Coriolis is the cause of hurricanes, even though she's a meteorologist and knows that's not what creates hurricanes, right? When someone says that, like, you must ask them, right? What about, ask them, are they correcting for the apparent rotation of the stars above them? Let's just take that from the pilot. Use it, Wolfie, even. Are you saying you're correcting for the apparent rotation of the stars above you? Because at that point, you're bringing them back into how the Coriolis effect actually how it actually applies to their belief system.
Right.
Because
so time back
in their head.
In other words, the moment you've got them to claim actual deflection that they'd need to correct for in a plane, you time back to the deflection that's not actual in their Earth turning paradigm with the stars. Clever.
So they have to correct for the stars.
Yeah, clever. I like it, Brian. Right, I'm just going to do a quick shout out to members who get to watch this video before anybody else. I have trimmed out the majority section of the Coriolis discussion as we're going through it now from yesterday's show. Who was it that gave me the idea that I should be putting a more sexy thumbnail together and coming up with a clickbait title? Who gets credit for that?
I did.
Was that you that gets
I did.
credit? Okay. Well,
Yeah,
Brian gets
boom,
credit.
boom, whatever.
Brian gets credit for the thumbnail. Not that he made it, but you know what I mean, for the notion.
I bloody made it.
No, not that thumbnail.
Oh.
The thumbnail that's going to be on this video I'm about to tell you about that I haven't told you about yet, so you don't know. So, if you remember, you can check out the latest video, which took me a whole bunch of time to edit. But fortunately, I'm not tweaking computers on a daily basis. So I can actually do this editing, which I'm very pleased about, if nothing else. Anyway, but the title is Cute Coriolis Scientist Ruined TKOR Pancake, Simon Dan and Matt Learn's Balls Smashed. So that's for members only currently, and I'll release it in a few days when the members have all watched it. So yeah, check that out. And yeah, it's got her lying on a pancake in a very provocative manner with Dan and Matt Learns sort of looking on at you in the audience with the word ruined in massive letters. As I say,
Don't let Kiwi see it.
On pancakes provocatively.
Just on that topic.
No, it wasn't a topic.
Yes.
Pancakes, not topics.
Topping. So no, on Coriolis, just watch this. Is it up for the audience? It's 3 seconds of yesterday's thing, but it's going to be a rotating Earth. Notice the 2 reference frames in the graphics. Watch how the Earth rotates underneath the clouds. You ready?
What are you saying? That it isn't demonstrating the clouds rotating underneath?
I'm saying it's showing the opposite of what they claim. They claim they've got a lockstep atmosphere. No, those clouds are static and the Earth's rotating underneath. Watch. Look. If I've been bothered to model that, hang on.
Okay, fair enough. This is Globiolis. We're back onto this, I suppose. We've
no,
done enough.
This isn't Globiolis. That's what I'm saying. No. This is what Coriolis would be if you lived on a ball. That's what should be happening. The Earth rotating underneath the clouds. Look at the speed. Yeah, that's how it should be. The clouds static in their world. They bothered to describe it there how Coriolis should be, not Globiolis. Because Globiolis, it's lockstep.
Yeah, well, if the cloud was moving, there has to be two separate rotations or 2 separate movements. Can't be just the cloud moving, which is what we observe, which is Adam's point. Whereas
the cloud's not moving here in this. The cloud doesn't move. The cloud's static in there and rotate the Earth underneath the cloud.
I'm going to get ahead of the game. Do you think you can keep this conversation going for another 3 minutes while I make a cup of coffee? Because we are definitely going to have a long live show today. Because what are we? 46 minutes into this live stream and we haven't even got to the video yet. I like to start the video about half an hour mark. I tried 3 times. We're still on Coriolis. It's fine. It's fine. But can I get a coffee? Can you keep the conversation going? Yeah. Or will I be sprinting back in for the kitchen?
Absolutely.
You can. Good.
Yeah.
As long as you stop asking. Oh, yeah. So that was one point. Hey up, Chop. That was one point. Man? And we went over this last night, didn't we, as well, on QE Live. And as I said on there, I wouldn't have been so nice yesterday on this if I'd have known she actually holds a degree in meteorology. So for her yesterday to claim that cyclones, hurricanes are caused by Coriolis means she's taken on this bullshit argument from anti-flat earthers in a very weak research and must have had to ignore her university training on the subject to make the statement she made with regards to this video.
Yeah, she did a Wolfie. When Wolfie said he corrects for Coriolis, knowing that he never ever was taught to correct for anything even remotely like that in his training. So his whole pilot's career was thrown out the window while he was making that claim. She did the same thing because you can't make a claim that Coriolis is, without even referencing whether you're claiming an effect or a force, is creating a hurricane and still be a meteorologist. You know what I mean? It shows.
Was this homegirl from yesterday?
Yeah.
Yesterday's video?
Yeah.
She made claims about Coriolis.
She did, but
She did
yesterday
a co-show.
yeah, exactly. She made the code.
She didn't do a Kosho. Kosho said hurricanes move in straight lines, 100%. She didn't do that. Please tell me she didn't do that.
Yeah. So we're laughing, but not knowing that somebody, I think it was LVO, Paul's looked her up and found out she is actually, when she said she was a scientist, you know, scientist like me, she holds a science degree but it's in meteorology. I said to Kiwi last night, it's like somebody asking me advice on tablets and me saying, put them up your bum. Yeah. This goes against every bit of training you've had to make those statements. You've got to go against the things you learned at degree level in a meteorology degree to make the statements she made to support a rotating spinning Earth using Coriolis and how it creates weather patterns.
Yeah, you don't insert the aspirins into your ear. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So for you to tell me that you insert aspirins into your ear, while me seeing that you're a pharmacist has to be a red flag moment. You know what I mean? Well, what are you trying to what rhetoric are you trying to insert over the top of what you already know and are trained and work as? You know what I mean? How much of your own career do you have to what's the word I'm looking for? Do you have to sacrifice to make some ridiculous claim that supports a narrative that you believe in? You know, and that's what she did.
Compromise.
Well, unless in a final year paper when they were talking about pressure systems and how the formation of cyclones, she just wrote, it's because the Earth rotates underneath. I just can't imagine.
Remember why Kosho made that statement, right? Because I asked him, why do hurricanes, which are usually depicted from the inertial reference frame, aka their little high altitude, quote unquote, satellite pictures, right? Why do they appear to be rotating from there when supposedly, if it's Coriolis, that would be a rotation or a drift you would see from the non-inertial reference frame? That would be the ground.
And
so why do they appear to be rotating from the air? And his response to that was, well, hurricanes move in a completely straight line, right? Because he knows that this apparent deviation is supposed to be seen from the ground. But when it's seen from the air, which is what they show us all the time, and it's rotating, why is that happening? If that's a rotation that you see from the ground.
Exactly.
So what are you saying? She did the same thing?
Well, no, she didn't even do that much. Sure, she didn't, Adam. She didn't even do that much. She just went with Coriolis creates hurricanes without it, because she doesn't actually see. Kosho was after learning what the Coriolis effect was, or some semblance of it, via QE and yourself and other people who were on Discord and on here, on Nathan. So people were after learning. She doesn't have a clue what the Coriolis effect is. She's just making this absurd claim that stands in the face of her whole career.
Right. She was saying because of the Earth turn, that's why we have the hurricane spinning. So I thought it was exactly what. So she's claiming that if Earth wasn't turning, they'd be moving in a straight line.
Yeah, but she's she's not even.
Also, excuse me, can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, John.
Also, the FE people also have a problem with it. They don't understand really what Coriolis is, because they are listening to the globalists talking about Coriolis as a force.
Really?
And trying to say, oh, it cannot be this and that because of north and south and so. So there's many FE people that is buying into it. Coriolis is a force. People don't really understand that. The Coriolis is just a name of a Frenchman that gave explanation of effect from non-inertia and inertia. If you're on the non-inertia frame, then everything inertia will be, that is moving, will look like it is bending, but it's going straight, really. So we are talking about illusion. We are talking about illusion effect. has nothing to do with force, but it's a real effect. If the Earth is rotating, then we will see all these effects, Coriolis effect, in the sky, the airplanes or whatsoever, drone, everything, the star also, because you are on the rotating reference frame that we call non-inertia, and if everything is in inertia, that is away from the rotating frame, that is the Earth that is rotating. And if you're standing on the rotating frame, everything that you're looking at above in the sky will take a bending path because of it. So it has nothing to do with force, nothing at all. So, but if you look at it on Google, then you can see different clarification of it. And 3 years ago, it was the right answer to it. But now it's a lot of confusing fucking answers that has nothing to do with it. So that people and actually people really have to understand a Coriolis is just an illusion. It's an optical illusion effect because of you are rotating. But the Earth is not rotating, and we are not getting this effect. Therefore, the Earth is not rotating. That's so simple like that. Has nothing to do with hurricanes, has nothing to do with toilets or whatsoever.
Just let him. Johnny is. Let me give him credit. Right, every word that Johnny just said was spot on. Kudos.
Yeah, Johnny understands the Coriolis.
Yeah, that's exactly the point. This is a name they've given to an illusion, right? And that's not coming from us. That's coming from their own side. It's an illusion, and they want to tell us that this illusion is creating storms.
It is a real effect.
And causing...
Yeah, I would say the Coriolis, the man that was telling us about this effect, he's a mathematician, he was just telling us we will see it like that because we are rotating. But we are not seeing anything like that because we are not rotating. Finito.
Yeah, you just give him more props. He almost just, it was a bit sloppy, but he almost formed that into a logical consistency, which was to say, if the Earth was turning as they assert, we'll see a Coriolis deflection as they assert. And we don't see any Coriolis deflection. Therefore, we have no proof of Earth turning.
Therefore, not rotating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We would see it everywhere, wouldn't we?
You'll have to yield now, I'm afraid, Johnny. Just you'll have to.
I am finished.
Fair enough.
Sorry. You can say.
We'll get an order together. Please stop. It's audio chaos. You have to stop then. Thank you. Go ahead, Neil.
Thank you.
Got it. All I said was it would be demonstrated everywhere if Earth was turning. Everything that left the Earth would be showing a deviation, and it doesn't. End of story.
Yeah, like Johnny said.
Yeah, but it took me 2 seconds.
Okay, well, aren't you fantastic?
There's something else I want to bring up off that video yesterday. Just a side point. I wasn't watching it when you were playing it, because just like right now, Nathan, I won't see the video you're playing because I'm on Discord on my phone. But on QEs, I was looking at it. I was listening back to QEs, and they played the part where she said, if this sailboat, the little bar, the little nutrition bar she had with the little sail, if that would have to get smaller, but it doesn't. It just goes over a curve, right? She kind of denied. She denied whether she was intentionally doing it or not. She was denying perspective. But then she showed this thing due to the focal length of her camera. She showed this little nutrition bar, and she moved it to the end of her table. But what happened was, just at the point where she edited it, just at that point, if she moved it another inch, it would have amalgamated into the background almost, because it became difficult to see, right? Which is the whole point. Is it gone over a curve of a globe out, or has it become unresolvable to see? You know what I mean? And this is the thing. And at that exact point, she said, she went, it only works if it goes over a basketball, kind of nonsense. But in her video, she actually shows this nutrition bar starting to amalgamate with the background, which is what happens. So But she said, look, it doesn't work. I'm showing it to work. Like the ballers have done 1,000 times.
We did notice it on this show. I said hashtag shit shrinks when she did this.
I pointed out that she had the camera positioned in such a way, i.e. too high above the table to not allow a limitation to the angles to the deck. Look, you can see all the way to the end of the table and past it. So she set the camera up high up on a mountain instead of on the beach looking at a boat. So she will see it for a lot longer. It would happen. She just needs a longer table.
Yeah.
That high.
But even as she is now, if you remove her out of the equation, you'd have to squint. Even if you make it bigger, you have to kind of squint to make out the little sailboat thing she made.
Yeah, the bottom of the chocolate bar is nowhere near as...
Yeah, it's not as resolvable. No.
Is it? Oh, look at the detail. You can see it all. Look.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is very, very 2015. You know, people from the flat Earth side being nice and low with the table and sliding a coin till the bottom disappears. Her, metaphorically up a mountain, as you put it, sliding it away to show the same thing. She's like, what are you doing? I don't know. She's had a little nose into the subject and she just seems out of her depth.
Well, what's interesting is she tried to not... This is the sort of problem I had with the ballers over and over again. Some of them, in fairness, didn't understand what I was trying to detail when it came to optical drop. But the ones that did understand or half understand it, what I dealt with that effect and other effects, they did their best to set up demonstrations that were in opposition to a demonstration I might do or whoever. And they do their best to set up a demonstration that set up the fail. Like, so it's not an honest demonstration, as Adam was pointing out yesterday. So they're setting up the demonstration to fail. So she tried to set up a demonstration to fail, right? But it didn't. It actually started succeeding, right? But because her demonstration was not analogous to reality. You must scale it to reality. And if you don't scale it to reality, you can't make the claim that it's not working.
Okay, we're going to have to end up doing the video that Paul has got intended for today tomorrow. I'm sure he's now feeling our 10th man generally feels. But he's even done a thumbnail for today's show, but there's no point because we didn't cover it. So what we have covered all day today is that TKOR or whatever she's called, her channel name. Subscribe today if you want to go and check her out. I'm not going to put a link. We didn't really cover enough of a video to do such a call to action to ask her to, you know, check us out and leave comments and likes and shares and subscribes on our video as a result of us commenting. But we're just reacting or responding or regurgitating even some of the stuff that we covered yesterday. So I don't know if Adam's going to be willing to...
One thing before you finish, Nathan.
I'm nearly done. I don't know if Adam's going to be willing to produce a thumbnail for today's show that's got 2005 with a pretty face on it to attract people to this particular live stream, because that's all we've talked about. But just before, I'm nearly done, right? Paul has done a thumbnail for today, but it just won't get used. So the 2005 show that this is won't be about Tyler Olivero or Oliveria. That'll be tomorrow's show, so that'll be 2006, because we're like right up on the hour now. It seems silly to start that. But yes, I'm done now, Brian. Go ahead. My bad.
No, it's my bad because I meant to say this earlier. Remember when Kiwi said he went to the comment section of her video, and she had pinned a comment concerning you and your our video yesterday, your video, but where we were responding to her video, right? I went in and looked a few hours later, and it was gone. Now, someone can look again, I don't know, but it wasn't there when I went in. She had a pinned comment, and it wasn't referencing your video. So you tell me.
Yeah, he probably listened and heard.
Yeah, and took it away.
And on that cliffhanger, I'm going to say if you're watching this on either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley Programming Streams, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow.
Well, whatever she listened to, she had to listen to some of it. And she unpinned whatever she had pinned. Because I went in and there was a different comment pinned. There was one of her comments pinned. And I looked down through the list and there was someone referencing Nathan, but the video, I think, or maybe there wasn't actually there. There was someone referencing Nathan in the comments, but I can't remember who it was. But it was down the comments a bit. Like the point is that there were several comments from people on our side who went in there and commented about Nathan's response yesterday. She must have watched some of that and went, "Oh no, I can't have that pinned."
Yep.
Because she's at the pinning the thing that takes her apart. Now you can have that pinned if you want to be honest with yourself and your audience. You can have that pinned. But if you don't want to be honest with yourself and your audience, then unpin it. It's that simple, isn't it?
Yeah, but could it be that she's just so like brainwashed that flat Earth's is stupid and there's no way that I could be wrong? Meaning herself.
As many comments as I've seen.
One, John.
Sorry for dropping earlier, guys. My internet's not the best this morning. But as far as the comments being removed, do we know that she removed it?
Well, that's what I was going to say. She was part of this TKOR team, and then she became the face of TKOR, right? Which makes business sense. Put out a good-looking girl. She's going to get, and you're talking about sciencey type stuff. You're going to have loads of simps. So, yeah. So, I would say it may not have been her decision. I can't put that on her doorstep. That may not have been her direct decision to remove it. It could have been someone else because obviously they have 13 million subscribers. So, it's not just her on her phone, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's a team of people.
Like one of her mods, like she pinned it thinking that, she was going to look good from it. Well, her mods seen it was like, oh, crap.
Yeah, yeah. Exactly. That's what I think possibly happened. So I can't say that she did it. That'd be a bit unfair because you can't. If you've got 13 million followers and you've got lots of viewers like that, you're basically a very small TV station. You know what I mean? So you're not just going to be on your phone as a single person with 13 million followers.
How does David Weiss have 11 million views? That's what I want to know. The video we were supposed to do today, Paul sent it, was David Weiss debating somebody, and it had 11 million views. How? What's going on that everything's going to him and nothing's coming here?
It used to be like that, Neil. When we first did Iron Realm, Jimmy put out a Flat Earth proof video. He just blagged it off someone else's back here, and they got over 1 million views. When the algorithm wasn't there, we were open. Like I said, Jimmy, full armor of God, is he like? Yeah, got over 1 million views on one of his early vids. Yeah, it happens if you're not cock blocked. Check Master B, Nathan. I've done it.
No, and another thing is that it's because it's not just that they're going to him. He's going to people at a high rate. Like so,
He's seeking them out. You're saying?
Yeah, but Eli, he is. I understand what you are. You say. I don't want to misrepresent you. Are you saying it's based off his own efforts alone that he's getting these extra because of him doing so many podcasts?
No. Not
okay,
just,
not
just that.
Yeah, because there's that. You're saying Nathan's sitting on his lazy ass doing a Flat Earth debate show daily, and David Weiss is out there.
Well, I have to say... Sorry, Eli.
No, I mean, I wouldn't say it like that. Like, they're just doing two different things, Like...
Yeah, I would agree with that. They're doing two different things, but I have to see... I can't ignore the fact that all the globebusters have mad numbers for Flat Earth. Let's say mad numbers for Flat Earth, right, for this topic. Mad numbers in comparison to the people off of FED, including Flatside. I mean, Flatside has nowhere near the numbers that the likes of Witsit has. Do you know what I mean? So they have, I know that, let's say, David Weiss and Jaron have been established for years, but so has Nathan been established since just as long. But yet Nathan is far more, less promoted than David Weiss and Jaron Campanella. Because they are pushing a much easier narrative to promote. They're pushing belief. Whereas
Well, they're
we're not
more,
pushing beliefs.
but they're more. I mean, they look. Each and every one of them go out of their own, you know, channel or whatever to speak to other people. Nathan, when he got, I guess, you know what? I can't even speak for Nathan. I just, it's that for me, like when I go out there and I'm talking about logical fallacies and basically like ending the conversation, nobody likes that. And it's a level of stupidity that like you kind of just don't want to deal with. And so it's like, but we should be dealing with it more, like outside of just here and, you know, the other places that we are. We could do a little more.
Yeah, but this
Could we
is what
though?
Nathan does daily. We can, but Nathan does this daily. So yes, we can, as representatives of flat Earth debate, agree.
Well, I would say that in general, no matter where we go or what we do, we will not be given the success that the likes of the Globebusters are. I don't see how.
bad.
Yeah, I think that no matter where we go, we're going to run into the opposition within flat Earth. We're going to have people who, let's just say, now I'm not attacking the lad, I don't know the man, the lad Caleb that was debating Fight the Flat Earth. If I went over to TikTok and I started gaining some kind of a following, I'm going to end up in opposition with Caleb because Caleb is going to be promoting stuff that's nonsense, like ether. Right? So that's what's going to happen. And he's not going to leave go of his ether. Right? He's going to just be in opposition to me, and I'll be in opposition to him. And I would say over time he will get more promotion. Because things that involve belief systems get more promotion than just basic factual reality. That seems to be the way when you're, you know what I mean? Pseudoscience gets promoted left, right, and center. Actual science, you know, hardly nobody hears about.
If you look at the figures,
that's the way you're talking and how you're acting and your behavior is hurts. It's very, very hurts against your own fellow FE community. It's not giving any effect. It's tracking you down.
Go ahead. Let's hear him out. Who are you talking about first and foremost, Johnny?
I'm talking about how the communication is and how you close to the narrative and how you talk about it and how it's like you're making an enemy. You're taking them away from you. Instead, you might be able to correct something in the right way, but you're not doing that. You are making a conflict. That's not the right way to do it.
Okay, give us an example, right, where we haven't corrected people. We haven't correctly corrected people concerning ether. Where have we not done that?
You can't, Johnny. So just
Neil,
give up now.
Let Johnny do it.
Hey, Johnny, feel free.
Okay. That about the ether is nothing new. I was a young man. I don't think I was born then. We were talking about the ether. There was nothing new about that. It was just about that you have to send it through the ether. Ether is just something. You can think of it as a vibration, something like you can send through. That's all. You don't know anything
Yeah, but
so
that's
much
not
about
the question I asked you.
Why take it out of the table? Why are you so hard against it? Like you really have to take it out. Do you know it's helping you as a FE? It can be something else that they are stating. So why are you making a hard case of it?
Give us an example, was the question, of where we've done that.
No, there is some kind of measurement, as you say, there is some, they call it background medium. Yeah, it can be very hard to explain what it is.
Just hold on, everyone, stop. Please don't make this inaudible. Neil, thank you. It's hard enough controlling one person that won't show up when they tell them to. But thank you. So, Johnny, the question that's being put to you, see what I mean, Neil? So if you interrupt now, Neil, it's going to be even harder for me to get control of this guy. Johnny, What's been put to you is, you put it to us that we were unreasonable in our approach to correcting people's nonsense about unprovable ether. Now, you were asked, give us an example where we were unreasonable in our approach. And you've said you've skirted that and gone on to how you can prove ether to us, or how we are unreasonable for not accepting this speculation. But just give us an example where we've been unreasonable.
No, I am just saying, before I answer that, I was just saying that the ether is nothing new. That has been something that has to be understood and have to be taken in for the seeking. But if it's really something, because it's pointing out that. But the question that you're saying, you're questioning me, why you are too harsh against them? Because it's not making any effort, but making it good for you guys. You have lost a lot of, what can I say? Not so many that's watching the show, for example. It might be therefore. And maybe because the communication is wrong. You could say, oh, you guys is wrong about that. We have to go through it. What do you have on the table? What do I have on the table about this and that? But then we are agree about this and this and that. Okay, we have 3 parts that we have to learn about, and we really have to take us through. It can be photon, for example, how that works. And then we can take out the ether, and but something more we have that we are not exactly sure about. Yeah, it is, maybe. So why do we have to fight about it? Why can we not just talk about it and make some effort?
Because normally
what
we
do photons have to do with ether?
Everyone stop. To answer your question, it's because when I listen to people telling me about the ether, as you have just done, I get sentences like, and this and that, and this and that, and we can talk about the photon, and this and that, and why do we have to argue about it? Okay. Take the statements that you just made about this and that, and turn them into something substantial.
Yeah, but I cannot. Do you really want me to be specific? I'm just counting up something, and then we have to talk about it. Yeah, that's all I'm doing.
I just want to get clear what's being levelled at us. It's being levelled at us that we're unreasonable in our approach, because our approach, as I've just ably demonstrated, is to just ask you what you've got, and your response is to say, "What, you want me to show you what I've got?" If you're accusing me of being unreasonable for challenging absolutely nothing to prove this garbage, then yeah, I'm going to ask you what you've got. And when it's nothing, that admirably describes how it is very reasonable to ask somebody who claims something to prove what they've claimed, and when they have nothing, point out they have nothing. That's not unreasonable, but you levelled it at us that we were unreasonable in some way when we did that. That's not unreasonable.
Absolutely. And I'm saying I'm not like the other guys. I'm listening to you, and I'm taking it through, and I have to really rethink really about it. That's thanks for you guys that you are pointing out. I'm really taking it to me.
So maybe I can ask the question to you then. Why is it that we are perceived as unreasonable for asking somebody to provide evidence, and when they don't, suddenly we're branded as unreasonable? Why is that reasonable to brand us in that way when we're clearly not unreasonable? We just haven't been provided evidence when we've asked for it.
Okay, that you're pointing out, we are not able to manipulate it really, and we are not able to isolate anything about it. But
I see. So
very hard.
Could I put it to you, Johnny, that therefore the person, in this case you, who would suggest we are unreasonable, could reasonably be described as unreasonable for not providing that which they've claimed to be true? Therefore, this seems like projection. You tell us we're unreasonable. Why are we unreasonable? Well, because we've asked you to provide evidence and you've become very unreasonable with us because of it, and then told us we're unreasonable. No, we're not. We're just not getting provided with any evidence when people say they've got proof of ether. They don't. We point that out, and then suddenly we're unreasonable? No, we're not.
I'm talking about behavior to make some effort to get
for example, that's where Brian stepped in last time. For example?
For example,
can I ask you a
how
question?
you're making ridiculous and you're using name calling and taking the person forward for episode, taking them down, your own fellows. Just because they are seeking,
They're not
there
our own
is something
fellows.
about it.
Hello,
All the
just
people
let
through the
him
time,
talk.
like Michael Sanamorley, has also, they were talking about the ether, and we have done that all the years. And you just want to take it off the table and don't give it a chance. That's all I'm talking about. You are too strict.
Okay, let's separate. Hold on, Brian. Hold on, Brian. Hold on. Let's just separate that two things again. There's two things being convoluted together. There was Michelson-Morley with no substance around it, ether, and us being unreasonable. Now, I don't really understand why these two things are being convoluted and smashed together in this melting pot. I don't really understand that. But let's just separate those two things. No, let's not discuss how unreasonable we are. We're only asking for the evidence in regards to the subject on the table, which in this case, you've brought up some supposed evidence, Michelson-Morley. Okay, well, let's have a listen to what that proves, and then we'll go from there. And we'll see who's being unreasonable.
There is some movement. You can measure some movement that is going around. That is not, you not really can explain, and that's called ether. And also, how can you let something propagate through something?
So you're asking me questions. So what's on the table now for our evidence of ether is there's something moving in Michelson-Morley. Is that it? Was that it? Was there any more substance?
No, I'm not making any case. I'm not making any case really just now. That I'm pointing out. You can take every medium away from it. You can send light through vacuum chamber, but it will be invisible. But but the light will be able to propagate anyways. That will tell you there is something there that you cannot really measure or take away.
Have you proven that though?
Yeah, prove that because the light is coming out from the other end, outside the vacuum chamber.
Has anybody ever gotten a vacuum chamber to not propagate light, as you say?
Yes.
Well, that has happened.
And there is a video of it. And absolutely. Yes.
Okay. Let's just accept that that's the case. How does that prove that there's ether?
Yeah, there is something. Why not call it ether? Why, like you hate the name ether? Just call it ether. There's no
what?
problem.
Okay, let's get hyper specific. Call what ether?
That you can let light and the radio waves propagate through, but you cannot see it. There has to be some vibration that is there, still is there, that is give you the ability to let it go through. It cannot go through if there is nothing there. It has to have some propagation medium.
Okay, that's it, is it? That's what ether is. That's it.
What it is the anomaly in the instrumentation, right? So this thing that Michelson-Morley did detect was 1/6 of the possibility of what they thought they might detect if it was Earth rotation. But this 1/6 thing isn't commensurate with anything of Bob's 15 degrees per hour, his faulty equipment. But for some reason, this instrumentation error is now described as ether. That's all you've got, John. Yeah, you haven't got ether. You haven't got anything other than an anomaly in your instrument, and you're ascribing something to it. You're saying it has to be something, and therefore I'll make it into something. Why does it? Why do you have to make it into something?
I just want to call this something ether so long we don't know better.
Fine.
And we are seeking.
Okay, you have our permission.
But it's not easy.
You can call your anomaly detected in your machine ether if you want to. Fine, you can call it that. You have our permission.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I don't know.
He doesn't. I just want to say he doesn't need our permission to call it that. But if he's going to bring that as evidence for what he's claiming to be ether,
well, let's check.
to us.
Let's check. Sorry, were you actually popping that on the table as evidence of there being an ether, Johnny?
Yeah, but I cannot go in your brain what you think really what ether is.
I'm asking you, are you the claimant, the person giving us this information, popping it on the table and saying this anomaly detected in Michelson-Morley, formerly used to claim rotation of Earth, is actually ether? Are you suggesting that or not? It's your claim.
I will not make any big claim, but it looks like
I see. Can you stop there then, Johnny? Johnny, can you stop there? You see, to me, when I'm described as unreasonable for not accepting ether, very specifically, and then I ask in a very convoluted, drawn-out way, why would it be that I would be described as the unreasonable one? It's because of the following claims for ether, and when we pull them apart at their base as being foundationless, useless, and proving nothing, you tell me that you're not making a claim. I see, Johnny, I put it to you, that is wholly unreasonable behaviour. Would it not occur to you that perhaps when you call me unreasonable for not accepting this total garbage, and maybe telling me that it's my attitude towards unreasonable people who offer crap, I'm not unreasonable, I'm irritated. This, Johnny,
okay.
You don't have to talk.
I will tell you.
You don't have to talk. You're getting told off. I mean, shut up. I find this irritating. You, with your garbage nonsense, your empty claims that aren't really claims, you unreasonable man. No, you are unreasonable when you tell me with defence of ether that I'm not accepting because I'm an unreasonable man, that you've got this, which isn't actually a claim you're making for ether, when I basically break it down to, does this prove ether, this crap? No, it does not. But rather than just say that, the shit you've taken us through for the last 10 minutes does not prove ether. Rather than saying that, you'd rather tell me as an unreasonable man, as you interrupt me, that you're not actually making a claim for anything with this. Why would you waste our time with it then? That seems also unreasonable. If it's not a claim for ether, why are you wasting our time with it? Is my tone and disdain unreasonable? No, it's not. It's irritating. You and your etherites irritate me. Now, maybe you can focus on the irritation based on your nonsense that you spout, and focus on that. Yeah, you can tell me and my audience how unreasonable I am for not accepting this shite. Go on, tell me how unreasonable I am for my wholly irritated demeanour that I'm now displaying to you, with disdain for the crap you've wasted our time with. Do you understand, Johnny, why I'm irritated with you and your crap you claimed? Oh, my bad. Not a claim, you say, unreasonable man?
Okay. Why I don't want to really state a big claim is because can be a combination of one or two or three things. Therefore, I will not make any big claims. But it's absolutely something that we cannot really measure, and that the ether is that we call ether. Thank you. I can call it ether. I have permission to do so. But I don't understand. Nathan Oakley has to be so emotional about that. What is this about? Your behavior.
So let's not focus on the crap you've provided, my disdain towards the crap, and exactly as predicted, focus on me personally and my attitude and irritation with the crap you've provided that you're not going to justify. And you're not going to take it as read that you now saying that it's a combination of things that you use as claimed evidence for the thing that you're not claiming. Wholly unreasonable. But let's focus on how irritating that makes me, or how irritated that makes me, right? You're going to focus on that? No, well, I'm just going to focus on the crap you provided us for your proof of ether. Oh, what? It's not that you're providing that as proof, right, Johnny? Yeah? Not that would be really irritating to go through a load of crap with us and then tell us that it's not really part of the claim. It's just a combination of other things. But how unreasonable are you, Mr. Oakley? That makes you very, very irritating and unreasonable, Johnny. Do you see how you're projecting your own unreasonable nature when it comes to your belief in ether onto me when you piss me off with your stupid shit?
Yeah, if that is true, then it's very, very hard to discuss any further.
I didn't
Because
understand that.
you're too emotional.
I'm not in the slightest bit
I'm just
emotional.
saying.
Oh, maybe you misinterpret my having up the scenario for the effect of drama? Oh, did you not realise who I was? Oh no, I can very easily turn this into the most delightful ripping of your arsehole. No worries. Do you need an upward inflection? Do I need a giant grin? While I say how stupid your nonsense was? So that you don't attack me on how, what, this has emotionally affected me? Au contraire. I could put a very silly voice on whilst telling you how stupid your ether garbage you provided us with. Maybe you can tell me how emotional I am while I do this.
May I ask you something?
You are.
No, what you've done is you've taken it to the ad hom again for the third time in a row, Johnny. Turn it into an ad the man attack about how personally I'm taking it, rather than addressing your ether garbage that didn't prove ether, that isn't really a claim, making you unreasonable and making it a projection when you tell me I'm unreasonable, and then continue to try to piss me off continually. Yeah? That's not working. My disdain is for the garbage that you put towards me. How many times do you want to tar me with a brush of being upset about your garbage? Oh no, I just see you as thick. Like someone deceived by the garbage that you've been swallowing whole. Now I want to argue here, but then say it isn't really a claim when it's taken apart. Oh, I'm definitely not emotional about that, Johnny. You can take that on the chin, my friend.
How would you like for a claim to be tested or to be, validated? How would you, if someone made a claim to you, how would you approach it? What is the difference?
Johnny decided he didn't want to answer any questions, so he just talked through the middle of your question, John.
Yeah, right. We're under criticism, and I'm willing to accept the criticism if you can tell me how you would address a positive claim given to you that's not being backed up. How would you deal with it?
Yeah, but if you just think about it,
how you can answer a different question that he hasn't asked you. How would you deal with a positive claim that isn't backed?
The positive claim, if I say something is, I am making a positive claim, and you are against it, and therefore I have to prove it, right?
How would you respond to a claimant with a claim that isn't backed?
Yeah, that's on me. I understand that. I am in a situation that is very hard because I don't
need you to summarise the juxtaposition with your situation. It's a direct question to answer. How would you deal with a claimant that hasn't backed their claim? It's that simple. How do you deal with that?
Yeah, I deal with that. I know that. I have a positive claim. And
so you're going to give me another summary of how this juxtaposes with your situation, even though I've told you not to do that and just answer the bloody question. So you're being, what's the word? Awkward. A prick. Unreasonable. Now, we're not asking you to juxtapose and summarise the situation you are in, and the question admirably sums that up, but we're not asking you to summarise that. We're asking you to actually answer the question, how you would deal with a claimant that doesn't back their claim. So I ask you, Johnny, how would you deal with a claimant that doesn't back their claim? Or is this how you deal with it?
Yeah, but that's not the situation that we're in.
It is the situation, and it is the question you're being asked, and that's all you're going to get to answer. And every time you try and take it away from that question, I'll just cut you off.
Yeah, that's the problem. You're cutting me off a lot. It's very hard.
Yeah, maybe we can focus on the ad hom of how Nathan behaves when you, the unreasonable prick, doesn't answer a question you've been asked 5 times. Maybe it's focus on Nathan again. Maybe your 6th attempt at an ad hom will work this time. That's unreasonable. Your logical fallacy use of ad hom trying to direct this to me, the man, when you haven't answered a question 5 times. That's unreasonable behaviour by an etherite. Someone here to claim, oh, no, it's not a claim, is it? Unreasonable etherite. That's how you behave when asked a question 5 times. What's that you want to tell me how I'm unreasonable and turn this into an ad hom attack about how I'm behaving? That's all you've got when you claim ether, to turn it into how Nathan behaves. Poison Nathan. Poison everyone against Nathan. That's what you etherites have been doing for quite some time.
Johnny,
Okay,
when this first
if you think
started...
about how the light...
One second.
People think
Johnny.
they know the speed of light. And everybody knows that, and nobody can measure the speed of light.
So how would you deal with a claimant that hasn't backed their claim, Johnny? 6th time.
Yeah, but the light is propagating through something.
So you'd go on to ramble about your claim again and rinse and repeat your claim that you haven't backed that's pissed everybody off because you haven't backed it and it's garbage. You just go through the garbage again when someone asks you a specific question about what you would do if you had a claim put to you and the claimant didn't back it. You'd babble on about ether. That seems like a nonsensical, gibberish, farcical scenario where you respond with a non sequitur. Do you not understand the question that's being put to you, you bonehead, etherite idiot? You're going to laugh about it now. That seems unreasonable at the 6th attempt to get you to answer this question about how you would respond when you claim we're being unreasonable for simply responding by asking you to back your claim that you haven't backed. And all we're getting is you rinse and repeating it again. So that's what we're getting, isn't it? What you deal in this situation, we're asking how you would deal with it and you can't cope. You laugh. 7 times.
Yeah, but I will deal with it. I will ask...
you won't ask me anything, Dumbo. You're being asked how you would deal with a claimant like yourself who doesn't back their claim of ether that's garbage. What you do is you go around telling the world how the person who points out your garbage is wrong is unreasonable. That's what you do.
Yeah, but we have...
Yeah, but, no buts. That's wanker behaviour. So because I point out how wrong you are and you've got nothing to back your claim, you're going to go around telling everyone I'm an unreasonable man? No. I am perfectly reasonable in telling you your stuff's garbage and it doesn't prove ether. That is not unreasonable. Furthermore, it's not unreasonable to get irritated by you when you constantly rinse and repeat, jabber through the top of me, don't answer questions, be awkward about claims that you make, state that they're not actually claims and it's only a combination of other things, 1 or 2 of them, that will back your non-claim claim that an unreasonable man suggests I'm unreasonable for not tolerating. And maybe you'd like to tell me that it's my attitude again. Maybe I need to put on my nice happy persona so you don't ad hom me for the 6th time. Yeah, maybe a smile. Your ether's garbage. That's right, you haven't backed it with any evidence. That's right, but you still tell us how unreasonable we are for accepting that. Oh, diddums.
Yeah, you're crazy every time I say ether. There's no question about it. It's obvious.
So what's obvious?
I am trying to... you get very, very emotional.
Sorry, no, I asked you about what you do when someone doesn't back their claim. I've asked you 7 times. It was off the back of one of my panel asking you that question that you've dodged 7 times. But you're back into your 7th ad hom. It's about how emotional I am. Au contraire. What I'm doing is admirably demonstrating to my audience how unreasonable ether believers are. And your behaviour is unequivocally unreasonable. Not my attitude, your behaviour in your claims, in your responses, in your lack of response to 8 repetitions of a question of how you would respond to a claimant like yourself who does not back their claim. You need a new question. You need to reposition. You need to squirm, don't you, Etherite? You need to tell me how I'm emotional, don't you? Go on, make another 8th attempt at that.
I don't really have to. I don't really have to because you are.
No, why are you so emotional about it then? Is it because you've got a belief that's nonsense? Is that why you're so emotional about it?
No, you have to answer that.
Why are you stuttering? Is it difficult? Are you stuttering because you've got an emotional problem about your bullshit ether? Is that why you keep stuttering, Johnny?
No. I'm not...
Get a grip of yourself. Stop being so emotional about ether and stop stuttering. Get a grip. Ether's not real.
Okay.
Why are you so emotional? Why are you stuttering so badly?
we cannot use the Earth.
Just stop stuttering. Take a breath. I know it's very painful for an etherite with somebody with sane reasoning pointing out to them how stupid their nonsense is. Just take a breath. Stop stuttering, Johnny.
I'm not stuttering. I'm not Pontus or what.
Or you could just take a breath for a minute, ether-believing idiot. Take a breath. Or you'll keep stuttering indefinitely as I rip your ether nonsense through your throat. Or you could just shut up. Which is it? Gonna take a breath, ether believer?
I am not Rumpus. I am so.
You could just shut up for a bit, mate. You've lost badly. Ether's nonsense. You've got nothing to back it, and your only defence is to tell me I'm unreasonable.
No, I am never.
Aye. You're gonna shut up now, Johnny. Thank you for your input, ether-believing idiot.
But what about
What about you just shut up now, Johnny? Yeah, we've taken your nonsense apart and you've rinsed and repeated it quite enough for my audience. You haven't got away with letting them believe that it's my emotional problem with your lack of evidence. Okay, you can shut up now. Take a breath. Stop stuttering.
Bye, Johnny.
If he has a better way of doing this with positive claims, I would be glad to hear it. But it doesn't seem he's wanting to tell us how to deal with it. He just wants to criticize how we are dealing with it. I would like to hear how we're supposed to deal with it.
I would suggest that just constantly rumpusing everybody, that might be an attitude to take that would deal with this problem. What do you think, Johnny?
Yeah, I was trying to start talking about it, how the light propagates through the medium. And the medium that we...
So you were about to get onto rinsing and repeating your claim without addressing what John just said. In other words, it's like it fell on totally deaf ears, like an unreasonable man who doesn't even listen.
It was like they never heard me say.
It's like you're stuttering like a bitch right now, isn't it, Johnny? After not addressing what John directly put to you. Like you're just going to rinse and repeat on your ether crap that wasn't proven again, right? Ignore him for a 9th time. It's the same question, 9 times you've had it. But do you need to just ignore it totally, like a totally unreasonable man? Are you totally unreasonable, Johnny? You've ignored the same question 9 times. That seems very, very ether unreasonable. You understand what I'm saying? The etherites are unreasonable people who go around projecting their own unreasonable nature onto us. Unreasonable.
Talking over me, Nathan. Okay, bye-bye then.
So rather than answering a question that's been put to you 9 times, you'd rather run away. Very, very unreasonable.
I was trying to tell you.
Don't try and tell me anything. Answer the question about what you'd do if a claimant puts evidence to you like you have that didn't prove anything and then carried on rinsing, repeating it 10 times. This is what you do, isn't it, Johnny? We're getting to hear exactly what you do in that scenario. Yeah, you rumpus the living hell out of the Discord server and don't listen to a word anybody says from that point forward. That's what you're doing. Excellent tact.
No, I don't want to do that. Not at all.
Oh, well, in that case, what would you do in a scenario where someone puts evidence to you that they don't back? What would you do in that scenario?
I will not do so much. I will find a reasonable argument against, or yeah. If I really know what it's about, I will bring it in the front. I'll leave it there.
And what if you fully understood that they had nothing to offer and didn't offer anything other than an anomaly that was formally described as proving Earth turn, reascribed to ether? Would you suggest I listen to that again? I listened to it the first time, though. I paid attention. I'm not unreasonable.
Yeah, but I never said that you are not reasonable.
Yeah, you absolutely did, you total prick and liar.
No, that can...
Yes, total prick and etherite lying scum wanker. You absolutely put it to us that we were unreasonable as an entire group. You stereotyped us with being unreasonable and went on to describe how unreasonable you thought our behaviour was. And now you're going to lie about it, because that's what etherites do. Rinse and repeat and lie. Don't you? You claimed we were unreasonable. No, sir. You, the etherite-believing scum liar, are unreasonable, as demonstrated here by your continual unreasonable behaviour. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, unreasonable, scummy etherite. So why would you claim we are unreasonable when we respond to a total lack of evidence? Why would you question how reasonable we even are? Oh, it's because you project your own unreasonable, scummy, lying nature as an etherite onto me, don't you, Johnny?
Yeah, but everything, all the things that...
Take a breath, etherite scumbag liar. Maybe you'll stop stuttering as I hand you your own ass. You got nothing. Ether's not proven, and all you've got is your little belief and to question why I don't hold it too.
You're very, very harsh against this issue. You're overdriving it. You're taking it over.
So you're going to take this to the ad hom for the 9th time? Rinse and repeat, ether scum taking it to the ad hom fallacy for the 9th time. It's about me and how I behave, is it? No, it's about your total lack of evidence for ether. It's about your reascribing a claim to be proof that failed for Earth turn into ether drift based on an anomaly in a man-made device. We listened because we're reasonable men. Then we took apart your total garbage that didn't prove ether and questioned why you would question how reasonable we are. And what you did, when asked, was behave totally unreasonable non-stop. Rumpused us, didn't listen, didn't answer questions, rinse and repeated your claim, constantly ad hommed us, just behave like a prick. So you're the problem here, mate. It's not us. You wanted to know why we didn't accept this? Well, I think you can concisely have had that answer. But the real question is, why are you such a bunch of pricks? Etherites.
I'm not.
Don't know how to speak when you're reduced to a stuttering mess by me? Pointing out how crap your evidence is? Yet I know you can't even speak after having addressed down from me about your crap that you didn't prove. Ether's garbage, Johnny. You are just a stupid man who's been duped by idiots lying to you because they want to create you a new bullshit belief in ether that you've got no evidence for, and you're prepared to defend it at the detriment of me and my attitude. How dare you?
Right, ether
say something to you, Nathan?
Nobody knows what it does.
Can I say something to you, Nathan?
Feel free.
Yeah. We are being described as unreasonable, right, as a group, right, an unreasonable group, because, from what I can gather, because we won't accept some other group's belief, right? When we scrutinize their belief, right, we ask them to, because they don't promote it as a belief, they promote it as a physics fact, most of them. When we question their physics fact claimed evidence, and it turns out there isn't any, then we are scrutinized as being unreasonable for not accepting their non-evidence evidence for their belief. Now, there was another group a couple of years ago who did the exact same thing. It's not unreasonable, Johnny, or anyone else, for us to dismiss your claims, right, and to harshly dismiss your claims when you're not providing anything in support of those things. So we're unreasonable because we won't accept a belief that these people have. That's what I'm getting out of it.
Right,
Yes,
we don't have...
We are talking about light. We are talking about if you hit the plate, under the plate, you can see the difference.
One last thing.
You can measure the drift. You can measure the drift. That's evidence, right?
One last thing, Johnny.
Sorry, what he needs to just parrot his rhetoric straight through the top of it rather than acknowledge a single word you've said, because he's an etherite lying scumbag arsehole. And absolutely without question will parrot the rhetoric that we've taken apart again through you by telling you that the anomaly in the man-made machine non-natural phenomena that he's claimed in Michelson-Morley has been detected. In other words, very unreasonable, hasn't acknowledged a single word that we've said, and is going to chant it through you, Brian, because that's how an unreasonable man behaves. Shut up, Johnny.
Exactly, Nathan.
Let me just tell him off. Let me just tell him off. Shut up, Johnny. Okay. I've given you a dressing down. Now shut up. Go ahead, Brian.
Well, I would consider it unreasonable when a claim of unreasonability is laid at the door of me and my fellow panel members, right? And I ask for a specific example of this, and the person doesn't give one, I find that unreasonable. That the person then doesn't address that they were incorrect to call us unreasonable. That is unreasonable.
Yeah, furthermore, it's unreasonable to then attempt to piss the panel mouth as much as humanly possible by rinsing and repeating garbage we've taken apart ad nausea till we get annoyed with him. And then say, here you go, you see, unreasonable. Yeah, prick behaviour by prick believers of a prick religion that's been substituted from their lack of globe faith. So all the people going around like Johnny, who formerly had a globe faith, needed it replacing, and there's plenty of people out there to do it for them. And when others go, now that's garbage that you've fallen for again, aren't you, stupid? Yeah, because being wrong and falling for another stupid scam makes you feel even more stupid than when you fell for the globe scam. So that's going to be defended vehemently by the Etherites, because that's what we're doing, making them all feel stupid again.
I am not making so...
What part of sit down and shut up didn't you understand, Johnny? You've wasted enough of our time, Dumbo. You fell for the next best scam to globe Earth, which was Ether. You fell for it, Dumbo. Yeah, feel stupid. Yeah, you got scammed. You got duped. Now, I realise that when you get to made to feel so stupid for falling for a stupid scam again, yeah, fool me once, right? Yeah, you can lash out at the person pointing it out to you and tell that person how unreasonable they are. Yeah, you can do that. But that person's going to respond with total disdain towards your scumbaggery behaviour.
Calling me a scumbag.
Your natural phenomenon.
Yeah, I am calling you a scumbag because on this encounter, you've lied. You've lied about what you've claimed. No, it's not really a claim. And then you've lied about saying that we're unreasonable. Yeah, that's what you've done. That makes you scum. Now, if you don't like your lies, deceit, and scumbaggery pointed out to you and want to protest so much about being called a scumbag, don't behave like an Etherite lying scumbag and you won't get called one. Do you understand?
Do you understand, Nathan?
What? About Ether? You're going to launch into another round around do-si-do about how you crap attempting to piss me off, undoubtedly. It's going to get repeated again without any acknowledgement of how we've taken it apart at its root.
I'm trying to answer you, and you're...
I haven't asked a question. I've told you to sit down and shut up.
Okay.
So sit down and shut up. Don't answer any questions you haven't been asked. Understand a command from somebody who's given you a dressing down for wasting everybody's time with stupid nonsense about Ether that you fell for. Now, you might want to lash out continually or attempt to rinse and repeat your, question that you've been asked? You haven't been asked anything. You've been told, after a dressing down, for your stupid nonsense you fell for, to sit down and shut up.
First of all,
the natural phenomenon is the drift.
You can't do it, Arwin. It's too triggered. It's too emotional, Arwin. Are you a bit too emotional about this, Johnny? Too emotional to shut up? Can't contain yourself?
In the end, I will just say...
Just need to continually ejaculate through Arwin. Yeah, I understand that you're too emotional to keep your mouth shut after a dressing down. It's all too painful. Can't cope. Yeah? It's okay, Johnny. Just need to get a grip. Stop stuttering and shut up. That's what you're being told to do.
Yeah, your Ether belief is based on a non-natural phenomenon that is basically a man-made device that is broken and thereby causing a drift. That's literally what started the very idea of this Ether drift thing. It's based on a broken man-made device. I mean, are you seriously believing this still?
It's not about belief. It's about understanding and not belief.
Understanding that your natural phenomenon is based off a broken man-made device, dummy.
Why are you saying it's broken? Why are you calling it something?
Yeah, it is broken because gyroscopes are not supposed to drift. If they drift, they're broken.
Yeah, that's a bit of a problem.
The change of the light, or the point of the light was coming to the plate. That is because of drift in the medium.
Here we go.
Pardon me. I'm sorry, but when someone comes to you, Johnny, and they are making claims about reality, how are you going to deal with those? And how is how we're questioning your claims wrong.
Let me try to
say
ask
it again,
the same question.
repeat like I said. If something is propagating through some medium and you have take it everything out that they can manipulate it, and you're trying to isolate. That's what we are trying to do. Isolate or take out all other effects that can change the outcome.
I can do that for you.
I
can do that very quickly.
The medium that you cannot see or really measure.
Hold on. You're getting interrupted, Johnny. I'm really sorry, Johnny. You're getting interrupted. Johnny, hello. I'm trying to take control of my panel for you, but you won't even shut up for me to do that. Yeah, you're being interrupted, so we can't hear your fallacy of division with isolation in science. Go ahead, Johnny. Go ahead.
It's a discussion. It's not a fallacy.
Oh, it's the fallacy of division. You're implying that you have scientific validity in the Michelson-Morley experiment, which it is not, by suggesting that isolation of the variables will make it a scientific validity for your claim of ether. Oh, my bad. Is this not a claim? Because you're a lying scumbag. It's not really a claim that you're making to prove ether with this science. Yeah, it's a fallacy of division. Just because you can isolate variables in your estimation in the Michelson-Morley experiment doesn't mean that you're isolating an independent, dependent, and control variables as part of a experiment when actualizing a hypothesis. You have taken something which is true of part of the scientific methodology and are applying it to this pseudoscience non-experiment known as Michelson-Morley. This is the fallacy of division.
And it's also a red herring from my question.
Yes, it is. It's a red herring fallacy because it wasn't what you were asked. I believe it was the 10th rendition of the same question that you failed to answer previously, as an unreasonable man would.
You were talking over me now?
No, I'm the host, Johnny. This is my show. Maybe you thought it was the Johnny show and you should have control of the mic always. Wrong. No, I control this show, Johnny. Did you not realise that?
Okay.
On my show, there's only ever you talking over me. Do you understand that? No, he doesn't. He's dumb. Clearly stupid. This is not the Johnny show. Yeah, this is the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, Johnny. You'd never, ever get to accuse me of talking over you. Yeah.
How often have I done that?
Just raise your voice a bit louder. Yeah, in between the gate when I'm talking. That'll definitely mean you've got control of the mic. That'll overcome the gate, Johnny, you dumb buffoon.
I'm not dumb.
It doesn't matter whether or not you're done. If I'm talking, I'll be heard. You don't seem to understand that. You think that you can just rant through the top of it and you'll get through the gate. You're a moron. Do you think when you're rambling and I'm talking that you're the one being heard, Johnny, like now?
But you call me more.
Yeah, I just opened the gate to let people know that you're just rambling through the top of me. Yeah, and then projecting that I'm doing it to you. Yeah? Or you...
It sounds like I'm doing...
Is that you talking through me there, Johnny? I disabled the gate so the audience could hear what you were doing as you project that I'm talking through you. No, you're doing it constantly. You're doing the rumpus trick. You seem like one of those kind of rumpusy type of people. It just doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, right.
I solved this problem in about 2017, Johnny. But morons still think they can overcome the gate. There's a gate. If I talk, I'm heard. Clear?
Yeah, but you're having like a child now, I think.
So is that the 10th ad hominem fallacy? How reasonable of you, Etherite believer. So, when I summarised the fallacy of division, when it came to the red herring fallacy that you used to avoid John's question, you felt that the correct response to your use of a red herring and fallacy of division was to use an ad hominem fallacy? A hat trick?
It was not ad hominem, it was information.
It was you stuttering like a bitch. You used the fallacy of division to imply that the isolation of variables makes Michelson-Morley science. That's what you did, fallacy of division.
Yeah, but...
Yeah, that makes you wrong. Makes your argument void. Like all of your arguments for ether are void. And you're unreasonable because you go around telling us that when we point out how void your arguments are, that we're unreasonable. Well, we're taking it personally and emotional. No, scumbag. There's you still trying to defeat the gate while I'm talking because you're thick. And an ether believer, that's why you're trying to defeat the gate while I'm talking. It's never going to work because I'm still talking. So you're not going to make it through. Yeah. Yeah, I stopped so we get to hear you saying yeah, which is presumably what you're saying non-stop while I talk so you don't have to listen. Yeah, etherite scum liar. Pay attention. You didn't have any evidence for your ether, and we pointed out the fallacies and all of your claimed to be proofs of ether. You failed miserably, and therefore you were duped again into ether belief by other scummy, lying wankers that you have become.
No, I pointed out for you the light is invisible through vacuum because we have isolated everything. And the only...
maybe I gave you permission to call this ether. Maybe you need to rinse and repeat this. I vaguely remember giving you permission to call this ether if you chose to. Maybe you could rinse and repeat it in lieu of the address to the red herring fallacy and fallacy of division you just used. Maybe rinse and repeating something that I made very specifically clear to give you permission to call needs a repetition, maybe? Maybe I'm taking it emotionally when you rinse and repeat like a unreasonable man would. Something that I very clearly gave you permission to call ether. Maybe I didn't pay attention because I'm the unreasonable one. No, you're just being unreasonable and repeating something you've already gone through rather than addressing the red herring fallacy and fallacy of division with regards to the non-experiment Michelson-Morley. It seems like you're very unreasonable, Johnny.
No, because you're talking like an old lady.
Sorry, is that the 11th ad hominem fallacy? I believe it is. 11. Ad homs. Why is it that you come to my door and tell me how unreasonable I am and then offer up 11 ad hominem fallacies as an ether-believing, scummy, lying wanker deceived by Jaron and Bob and Whitsit? Those deceivers, those scummy liars, just like yourself, they're scumbags. They're charlatans. They're frauds. And they conned you good, didn't they, Johnny? They conned you good.
Yeah.
And they got names, Small Larry and Scurvy.
It's 50-50.
You got duped, Johnny?
I'm starting to...
Got duped
I'm
again.
starting to take
Impossible
this.
to go to any point to, if you're talking like that, you're full of emotional...
Sorry, 12th ad hominem. Just keep laying them out because you're totally reasonable.
Yeah, please, Johnny. I don't want to take this to a personal place and talk about us. But please tell us what the flaw in our methodology is in dealing with positive claims and how we should deal with them. If you have a better way, please give it to us now.
Okay.
I'm still waiting for you to...
Maybe start asking questions that and asking yourself, what is this about? Can it be something that we have to look into? That's the first question. Then...
Okay, let's do that. What is ether about? Is this something we should look into?
Yes, is it? Why are people talking about it? Why has it been in
Oh, we found that out when you told us about Michelson-Morley, Dumbo. We've already listened to why we need to find out about this and how important it is. We've already gone through that. But now I've asked the question, and I already know the answer. The answer is no, based on the evidence that's been put on the table, Johnny, by you. The answer to that question is no. And now I know that, having done it again, it's really irritating to do it incessantly, just over and over again. Why? Well, because we're surrounded by dumb fucks who don't know they've been duped by Jaron and Bob and Whitsit. They just don't know, so they keep doing it over and over and over again. I mean, it's really irritating, Johnny. But then again, us and our irritation, that could be the focus, couldn't it? Maybe 12th ad hom? Go ahead.
But that you will always take away my argument about the vacuum chamber and put light through it, and it's invisible.
So is that an argument? That statement's not an argument. Yeah? I said you could call that statement that you made about light going through vacuum chambers. You can call that ether if you like. I mean, everyone chuckled on the panel. But I mean, we can rinse and repeat. This is the second attempt to do what I've already pointed out as a rinse and repeat attempt to distract from the red herring. John's question, I think you've had it 12 times. Yeah? And the fallacy of division with Michelson-Morley. But maybe maybe a third attempt to rinse and repeat. Maybe an attempt to get through the gate while I'm talking, Johnny.
You empty everything and you're isolated.
Yeah, it will be. Third time's a charm, rinse and repeat. So not going to address the red herring, not going to address the fallacy of division, just going to be unreasonable and rinse and repeat, even though I have pointed out to the audience that that's predictably what you're going to do. You're just going to do it anyway. So no matter what happens while I'm talking and you're trying to get through the gate, you're going to rinse and repeat this at all costs. Are you just the rumpus?
I'm not the rumpus. I am talking about facts.
Okay, so you made a claim.
I would like him to answer John's question.
Yeah, you made a claim that this is fact, right? We have pointed out fallacious logic. You say our methodology is wrong. What is the correct methodology when your opponent is using fallacious reasoning? I want to know. I want to be better. Tell me how to be better.
Yeah, understand and listen. Yeah, that's the first thing. And don't try to be like you are defining something. Just discuss.
Listen to fallacious reasoning.
Hang on.
Listen to fallacious reasoning, really.
Okay, can I ask Johnny a question then? Because he won't answer your question, John. Johnny, will you answer a question for me?
Yeah, if it's a reasonable question, of course.
Okay. What is ether?
Ether is vibration, can be moving, doesn't have to be moving, but that's the background. It's like a glue that's holding everything, that's able to propagate. It has to be something about electronic function of the whole realm that we are in.
Shut up, break up.
That's my conclusion.
Go on, Johnny.
No, I just summarise. So it's vibration, can be moving, doesn't have to be moving.
And I got some. Neil came in when I was trying to get some semblance. Could you, Johnny, Neil, would you please stop shouting over the top of him? Johnny, could you please answer that question again?
He did.
Neil rumpused you.
He
Hang on.
did.
No, I needed it. Hang on, please, Nathan.
I really did.
He did. I wrote it down, Brian.
No, please, Nathan.
I wrote
please.
it down.
Johnny, please answer that question again.
He did.
Nathan,
You just can't shut up.
No, you can't.
He did answer you, and I wrote down what he said. Brian.
I know. Now, Johnny, would you please answer that question again? Thank you. I'll ask it again. What is ether?
Okay, just so you know, your internet or your connection is breaking all the time. It's terrible. And your voice is going down, up and down. It's terrible to listen to you. But anyways, what I'm trying to say is ether is vibration behind, just like a glue, that's holding the propagation of our it can be waves function, it can be straight line function of coordination of concentrated of line, it can be whatsoever. Everything that's propagating through over distance need some kind of medium. And ether that's in the realm that we are in. It has to be something that is vibration of electronic vibration that's holding everything together. It's given us radio waves and so on can go through, propagate through. Has to be that this reality of kind of medium that is absolutely invisible, but if you take all the media whatsoever and clean everything, this is always left. You cannot move it. It's the ground function. Therefore, we call it background medium. Therefore, we call it background medium. And that we, like the word ether, we call it ether.
Okay. So tell me then, Nathan, right, considering you wrote it down, what he said just there, is that the same thing as he said the first time?
No.
Right. That was the point. I didn't need you. I know it's your show, and I don't want to be opposing you on your own show, but you have to read the room. So, Johnny, you've now given us two completely different. Actually, the second one, I don't know what it was. Two completely different answers to the same question. And you think we're unreasonable. How are we unreasonable when you're providing different answers to the same question within the space of 4 minutes?
Are you able to give an example of that? Are you able to give an example of that?
I don't need an example. I need you to address my question. How is it how are we unreasonable when you're giving us different answers to the same question within 4 minutes?
Did I really?
Yes,
I think I was absolutely the same. Maybe I said some more word in the second answer, but in principle, I was absolutely on the same spot.
No, you weren't.
No, you weren't, Johnny. Nobody know. You didn't make any coherent sense with any of the answers, Johnny. I still don't know what this ether is. I only know what you're claiming it to be. I don't know what it is.
Why are you so upset? Why are you so upset?
Let me answer that. Because when you say things like the propagation, it could be straight. It lies in the coordination of the vibration. Those sorts of statements are the most convoluted, nonsensical, drivel statements that any one man could possibly make. They aren't coherent. They make no sense. They aren't linked together correctly as a sentence. And those are the things that you said.
How can that be? Because it is a vibration. It's about electronic functionality.
So it's engineering then, not science. Because that would make sense since it's all in a man-made device, right?
And somewhere
if you say the
question.
creator was engineering everything and making everything so fucking perfect, yeah, you can make it, maybe you can call it engineering, but it's just how
that's the problem.
Because you can't call it science.
That is science.
What do you say,
talking with you. I'm telling you, we are isolating.
Maybe use that fallacy of division you didn't address.
We are talking about how
the fallacy of division, where you claim that you've isolated the variables in Michelson-Morley.
Yeah,
that would be a fallacy of division, though, wouldn't it? Yeah, when Arwin points out that engineering isn't science, and you go on to tell us about how you've isolated variables with a fallacy of division.
That was just a point. But I am talking about my own understanding that's much more clear to the ether than nothing else. That is my talking point about isolating.
Oh, yeah, that was really clear. That was crystal.
The effect.
Yeah, it was garbage.
Yeah,
none of it made any sense, though.
Well,
it was just stupid garbage.
Oh, don't call it garbage. How can
I can read back some of the sentences that you said, and they didn't make any sense.
Okay, do that. We can look through it. Maybe you're right. Maybe you aren't.
No, they weren't sensical in any sense of the semblance of the word making sense. They didn't make sense. Nothing you said made sense at all.
Okay.
Not really. That's irritating. It's unreasonable to waffle on about complete nonsense when people are objecting to it and trying to understand it, because you say it's really important that we question whether or not we understand this stuff. And when we try to understand it, we get the most stupid, nonsensical garbage strung together in sentence fragments that make no sense. That's so irritating, Johnny.
I could ask what electricity is and get an answer. why with this ether do we get nonsense and not a straight answer? If I ask Adam or QE, what's electricity or what's oxygen, you'll get an answer. But with ether, you'll get a dosey-dose, go around in circles. It's this, it could be that, it's a propagation, it's this, it's that, it's bullshit, and you've been duped.
Or maybe we're unreasonable, and the statement's as follows, quote, it can be moving, but doesn't have to be moving. It's the propagation, it can be straight, it lies in the coordination of the vibration. Those sorts of nonsensical sentence fragments that are meaningless drivel irritate me. You, ether believer, you
Why am I
irritate me.
irritating you? Why can't you just take...
Why are you getting so emotional about this, Johnny? Try not to get too emotional about it, my friend. It's just a stupid belief you fell for. Don't get so emotional. Don't stutter either. Just get a grip. I know that having been duped by ether, again, is embarrassing and makes you stutter. Just get a grip.
I'm not stuttering at all. I'm not Rumpus.
Okay, so you've been duped again. You fell for the stupid con artistry of Jaren and Bob and Witsit, yeah? And as a result, you're trying to paraphrase their stupid shit and ending up coming off like a total ass, like a buffoon. You understand that now, Johnny? Just trying to be kind. I'm not getting emotional about it or stuttering about it, just telling you how it is.
No, I agree with you. Jaren I think Jaren have to take a great...
Let's not talk about Jaren. He fooled you. You're the one we're focused on, you being fooled by this stupid nonsense.
No.
Yeah. When you say it can be moving, doesn't have to be moving, it's the propagation. It can be straight, it lies in the coordination of the vibration. Yeah, you've been duped, and now you sound like a blithering buffoon.
So you don't know, it can be combination of things that is reacting and interacting with each other. You can have a different effect of it. That's very, very clear. That's nothing new. And you have to take in all
that would be a plural.
And if you don't do that, then you're not into anything. You're just a fucking YouTuber.
No, sorry, is that ad hoc number 13? 13 ad homs. I am so unreasonable to these etherites. 13 ad homs.
Nate, I apologize for apology on your show.
You're ace, Brian. Don't worry about it.
You just want to make money for your family. I understand.
That's correct. Yes, that's right.
You don't have to...
How unreasonable of me. Oh, totally unreasonable. I would make a little shorts clip. The unreasonable father of two wants to make money and support his family through YouTube. That's scum.
That's ether. That's ether.
It's ether.
And you are making money... And you are making money of ether just now. It's very, very exciting.
John, it's not ether, but ether has to exist because it is there. See? That's how that works.
I can't believe it's not ether.
Nobody can say ether is not real because it has to be something. You cannot send something through nothing.
What then? What is it then? It has to be something. So
look, we're all unreasonable. Just thank him. Thank you very much. Now I understand that the ether is light moving through a vacuum, and it can be moving, doesn't have to be moving. It's the propagation that can be straight and lies in the coordination of the vibration. I'm glad you've cleared that up for us, Johnny. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So, what's wrong with that?
What's wrong with that, you dumb shit?
What's wrong with
that, you dumb shit? Are you having a laugh? Yeah, he is. See?
Yeah,
now it all becomes clear to my audience, Johnny. Yeah, you're just a joker. Now you're here to scam people, just like Jaren, aren't you? 'Cause it's just a big laugh to you. You don't really believe in this stuff. You want others to believe in it because you want to dupe them. You're the one duping them with this, aren't you?
No.
You were just like Jaren. You're laughing about it. You think it's funny. See, I see it as pitiful for all those people that are getting duped by Jaren and Bob and Witsit and you. Because you're just jokers, aren't you? You just think this is funny, duping people, lying to them, conning them with total gibberish nonsense. You just find it funny, don't you, Johnny? You just laughed, didn't you? Yeah? Very funny. No, it ain't. You're duping people. It's a scam. It's a con. You're part of it.
No.
Yes. Jaren, Bob, Witsit, Ether, it's a scam. You've been duped. We've made that clear to you. You can hand wave it and deny it and say no, but it's a fact. Or maybe, no, actually, unreasonable that I am. Actually, what I've learned today is that it can be moving, doesn't have to be moving. It's the propagation. It can be straight. It lies in the coordination of the vibration. That's what ether is. Because I'm an unreasonable man, and I should understand that and question whether or not I should be investigating it further. Because I'm totally unreasonable to reject that as nonsense, aren't I? Just an unreasonable man rejecting that sensical way of seeing the world, right? That's me being unreasonable, isn't it, Johnny?
So, I know you didn't listen to me, but I was moving and I was standing up, and I doesn't have to.
I was ignoring the postulation of how unreasonable it would be to take that nonsense as read. Just ignoring that is what you're doing. Unreasonable. Completely ignoring me is unreasonable.
It's a fallacy. You are making a fallacy. You're saying it has to do this thing, and you don't know what you're talking about in the first place.
Oh, if I say it has to do this thing and I don't know what I'm talking about, what's that fallacy called?
That's a fallacy.
What's the fallacy called of I'm saying it does something, but I don't know what I'm talking about? What's that specific fallacy called in Latin, please?
Your assertions of reality. Or
You're just a stuttering prick telling me I'm making a fallacy and you haven't got the slightest idea what you're babbling about. This isn't a fallacy. What you're doing is making a baseless assertion that I'm talking nonsense. So what you're doing is making a baseless assertion. If it was a fallacy, you'd detail it and put what I said into the form of the fallacy. You can't, it isn't. Unreasonable. Just making a baseless assertion that I'm wrong by fallacy and you can't name one. Yeah, that's very, very unreasonable. Yet another admirable demonstration of prick behaviour from Etherites, who are just all scum. Totally unreasonable people, like this Johnny guy. And Jaren, the scammy con artist conning you all into ether belief, along with Bob and Witsit. Those are the people that conned everyone around Johnny, and he's here to peddle that same stuff because he finds it amusing when he dupes people. He laughed about it.
yeah,
Yeah, you con artist duper. You like conning people, and it's absolutely outrageous. My disdain for you and your scummy con is not unreasonable.
you're the same type. You are Jaren. I have nothing to do with Jaren. But
You're pumping ether. Like all of those dickheads who deny science because they're retards who haven't got the slightest idea how science works. You come here and start appealing to it like they also do with Mickelson Morley. They're using the same arguments you argue with. So you say, I've got nothing to do with them. They're the ones peddling this crap. You're a nobody. They're the one with the audience peddling the same crap that you regurgitate when you tell us with your fallacy of division about Mickelson Morley experiment.
yeah, that's a point.
Yeah. I'm done with you, Johnny. You have tested my patience long enough. You can actually sit down and shut up now. We don't want to hear any more. You've wasted enough of our time. And you're only doing it for your own amusement. So you can laugh about the people you dupe. Shut up now. Shut up now or I'll have to remove you. You become more than intolerable. You're totally unreasonable as a person.
Become Sinclair.
because I
He's
are lost.
exactly like Sinclair.
They all are. There's a certain type of person like Rumpus.
You don't care about the truth.
Don't ad hom me. Stop it. Sit down and shut up. You've been concisely taken apart. Now you can sit there and deal with it. Shut up.
No,
How can you call a fallacy on us when we're not the one making the claim he is, and he's not providing the proof for the claim, and then we point that out? We're making the fallacy, which he can't name?
Outrageous.
Right?
Unreasonable. Yes, Arwin. But that's what we get accused of. When we undo people's lies, what do you know? They don't like it and they react the way that this guy reacts. And Jaren, and Bob, and Witsit. And they attack the person that's undoing their lies, and scams, and frauds, and claims of science with Mickelson Morley. Because it's isolated the variables, right? That's a fallacy of division. It's leaning on the notion that you've got scientific empiricism, which you haven't for ether. It's garbage. We take it apart regularly to our irritation while people rinse and repeat constantly.
Right.
And they get all the views.
And they see it like this
The
now, right?
problem is, you only think I
We
am.
don't need you to tell us what the problem is. You're the problem, Dumbo. Sit down and shut up.
I was talking about.
Don't you understand? A simple command. Sit down and shut up. You are the problem. We will discuss the problem without interjection from the problem. You.
Right. So, I mean, Jaren, according to Jaren's system now, and even Fight the Flat Earth rolled that out that last time on Debatism, which Huey has been reviewing or giving the treatment. Apparently, science doesn't prove anything, but if you want to prove something, you have to use experiments, though.
You got to isolate them variables in the Michelson-Morley experiment when science doesn't prove anything. Yeah.
Exactly.
That's funny. Johnny, you're a funny guy, but shut up.
Kiwi, are we?
If you say shut up to me, then I have to say I have nothing against you, but you just have to relax. That was my point from the beginning. You have to. If you really want to go somewhere, and if you really mean you want to talk, and get the truth to the world, what is right and what is wrong. If you care about that, then you're acting absolutely wrong. You're not getting anything. You're not getting any fucking benefit of your behavior.
So that's the 14th ad hominem attack against me personally. But I'll take it on the chin, it's no worries. I need to be more relaxed. If I'm interested in the truth, then I'll be uber relaxed, right? Oh, cool, man. So I just need to say, this evidence for ether's garbage. In a really chilled way. And my audience will flock to me. No, they won't. They'll go to the charlatans like Jaren and Bob and Ether, believing idiots who lie to them and dupe them. That's what they'll do, because they'll be promoted in the algorithm. We see it every day. Doesn't matter how irritated or relaxed we are about our debunkings of the garbage you provide here, Johnny. Don't make no difference. You're still parroting. You'll still talk through me before I've completed my point. You'll still talk through me. You'll be the one who's emotionally led to talk through somebody who's perfectly relaxed. Yeah? And then project your irritation and emotional response through the top of the very relaxed host who's in the middle of a sentence about how triggered and emotional you dumb, duping, globe rejecting, ether accepting fools are. Was that relaxed enough for you there, Johnny? Was it relaxed enough? Yeah, maybe my acting isn't helping me.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it don't make no difference. Your argument's crap, and we take apart your crap argument at its core. Sod all to do with me, that's the 15th ad hominem.
Oh, it was not ad hominem, it was just...
Sorry, just stuttering like a bitch who's had his 15th ad hominem pointed out to him. Yeah, you are stuttering like a bitch. A totally unreasonable bitch. Who's coming here to tell me how unreasonable I am. Yeah, you keep fighting that gate, my friend.
So it's not a fact that your education in acting that's a fact, right?
Yeah, that's a fact. And?
Yeah, okay, then it's not ad hominem. Then you're wrong about that.
To imply that my response to your argument is nothing more than acting is an ad hominem fallacy. Yeah, you don't think I can break down your fallacy in about 20 seconds when challenged? Oh, you say it's not a fallacy of ad hominem at the man. Well, I will qualify it while you try and fight my gate.
So I have to qualify everything for you. It's like I have a bit... do you have...
Stutter your way through the 16th ad hominem, bitch. Go on, stutter your way through that ad hom. Go on,
no,
you were stuttering your way through an ad hom, Johnny. On you go.
I understand that. Do you have an ADHD or something? You maybe have some problem like that.
Oh, is that the 17th ad hominem? I've got ADHD now. Your arguments are crap and I took them apart. Your Michelson-Morley and its fallacy of division when it implies scientific validity through isolation of variables. That's my argument. Or am I acting? Yeah, laugh it up, duper. This is what you get. Every audience member, listen up. If you're an ether believer, that laugh is directed at you. He knows he's conning you, and so did Jaren, Bob, if he was still alive, Witsit and all the people who follow in their footsteps. That laugh is the most telling thing that Johnny can do. Because that's what they're really doing when they con you with ether. They're just laughing at you like Johnny is. They laugh it up. He didn't even deny it, did he, ladies and gentlemen?
No, I'm not denying that, because you are quite funny. There's no question about that.
So you're still not going to deny that you're duping people with this?
Like I said before, it's about propagation of...
yeah, I got it written down. Yeah. Propagation of the coordination of the vibration. Right, Johnny? Yeah, I got it written down. Yeah, Dumbo.
And we have... Do you know how waves, they need a meteor?
So this is not your opportunity to rinse and repeat your way through ether? So it's just your opportunity after laughing at my audience to try and dupe them again? Is that what you think this is? Oh, quick. I've been caught out and laughed about it. Now just rinse and repeat. You like the rumpus. It seems like you got an MO there, Johnny. Got a little MO going? Very similar to other people's MO?
You're talking over me in the meteorology center.
And that's part of that MO there, isn't it? Fighting the gate, telling my audience that I'm talking over you. Well, I point out your MO just like the rumpus. That was not your opportunity, upon laughing at my audience for how well you're duping them with ether, to rumpus the crap out of me. But what I'm talking through you, I'm talking through you, I'm talking through... No, rumpus. No. You've all got the same MO, though, haven't you? And you all love that you're duping people. You know your arguments, but you know where they fail, and when they fail, you laugh. Don't you, Johnny?
First of all, I won over Rumpus several times. So
No, that's not the point I'm making. I'm pointing out that you laugh at my audience as you dupe them with ether, don't you? Yeah? You've got the same MO as Rumpus. But instead of globe, it's for ether. There's a lot of people about on this circuit with the same MO as you. They all employ the same exact tricks too.
Yeah, it's not a trick from my half.
Well, why did you laugh when I pointed to one of those tricks out?
I'm straightforward.
Why did you laugh then? Was it a joke? Magic trick? Amusing to you? Maybe the audience doesn't appreciate being laughed at. No one got the joke. Maybe your laughter doesn't need explanation and it's an opportunity for you to rinse and repeat your way through your ether claim again. That's what you're not addressing as you fight my gate continually like Rumpus. Yeah? Same MO? Yeah? Fight that gate.
I'm not Rumpus.
Maybe fight the gate by telling me you're not Rumpus continually. Through the top of me.
I'm very educated.
I'm very gonna talk through you at all costs. Right? Same MO. You've all got the same MO. But the only reason he laughed is because he does know better while he dupes you. And when he's caught out, all he can do is laugh about it. He's in the know and he's trying to have a little laugh with me to laugh along with how he's been caught out duping you. There is no ether. It's all a massive con. You've got nothing but convoluted gaggle screw nonsense. I wrote it down. Maybe I'm acting. Maybe you're acting when you go through this rigmarole. When you parrot off this garbage that I wrote down, that's an act that you use to dupe people. I'm pointing it out.
Feelings with behind left feet. Left. That's you're doing.
You've given up on listening to me. All you're doing is constantly talking through me and projecting that onto me, like Rumpus. I keep pointing out that that's a Rumpus MO, but you're not listening because you're talking through me while I do it.
Can I ask you a question?
All the time.
Yeah, go ahead. There's no way that you'll be tolerated to do that by Johnny. He'll just interject. Guarantee it.
Yeah, well, I'll ask QE a question. Anyway, QE, are we pre-dismissing evidence for ether, even though the evidence was never presented, and isn't evidence anyway? Asking for a friend.
QE, where are you?
He's off mute, but there's no sound coming through.
He's Bobby eating.
Hey, wait a second. I just came back. I thought you had told Johnny to sit down and shut up.
He can't. A part of MO of the Rumpus type people is that no matter what happens, he's going to be rinsing and repeating his ether claim to dupe people with. At all costs. That's his only motivation here.
Right, he's just acting out his ADHD whilst asking Nathan if he has ADHD.
Yeah,
That's probably what's happening.
He'll exhibit the ADHD-like behaviour through the top of me whilst accusing me of having ADHD. That's right.
I see.
Sorry, Neil. Nathan, are we pre-dismissing evidence that was not presented and isn't evidence anyway?
You can't pre-dismiss evidence that isn't evidence, and you can't pre-dismiss something that hasn't been presented. You're not clairvoyant.
Okay, just wanted to know. Someone asking for a friend. Because let me ask Johnny that question.
Oh, okay, you go ahead.
Johnny, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Are we pre-dismissing evidence that wasn't presented for ether and isn't evidence anyway?
Yeah, but you have to understand that I have not everything clarified about the ether. There is a lot of questions there.
Why is that funny?
And also, listen to you guys on your arguments, but your argument is most like denial. You just don't want to look into anything. Just dismiss it. Not come close it. It's like no. You never take in anything.
So when I say it's a fallacy of division to assert that you've got isolated variables in Michelson-Morley, that's just me saying no, end quote. No, you're very ignorant. It's like you've got ADHD and don't listen. When I say it's a fallacy of division, when you don't have science just because you say you've got isolated variables, that is not, quote, no, end quote. That's a unreasonable man with ADHD not listening to what I say. You understand?
It's actually like people with...
Yeah, you stuttering little bitch. Maybe you can shut up now. You're an unreasonable man and we don't like you because you're totally unreasonable. You've got the same MO as Rumpus. You understand that?
No, I don't.
Yeah, you are. You're a stuttering little bitch straight through the top of me, ignoring everything I say. And paraphrasing what I do say because you've got ADHD and can't listen as no. It's not what I said.
We've listened to everything pertaining to...
No, I'm not saying no. No, an unreasonable man would paraphrase, it's a fallacy of division to take the Michelson-Morley experiment and its isolation of variables to be scientific validity of ether. That is not no. But stating it as being no is what an unreasonable prick who's deceiving people with ether would state as a paraphrasing of my very concise demolition of your claim to be evidence. Oh, my bad. You're a lying scumbag. It's not that you're making a claim, right? Lying scumbag.
Why are you not taking in my example of in a vacuum chamber?
Lying scumbag. Ether lies. Ether scum. Ether scum.
Yeah,
Ether lying scumbag. Ether scum. Ether lying
because
scumbag.
I'm right.
Ether is lies. They're all duping you.
You're like a pastor in the church. And you see the debate. You're just acting like a Luke. You are the
Ether liar.
And you're...
Hello. I've told you to shut up because we don't want you to deceive my audience anymore. And all you want to do is look for another app opening to deceive my audience and dupe them. That's all you want to do.
Yeah, stop projecting and stop stuttering.
Your audience is on
your what? Side for being a totally unreasonable prick. No, they're not. No, they're recognizing how ether's a dupe, how it's a scam, and how the people putting it out there like you, who are propagating it through this community like you are now, are laughing about the fact that they're duping people. That's been made clear by me.
Yeah, you're just acting as like a
17th ad hominem.
I'm just saying.
Notice how I'm keeping track of your ad hominem fallacies. You told me I was unreasonable. You used 17 ad hominem fallacies. That's what you've just done. 17 ad homs is not reasonable. But if you've got an ether belief that you can't back, and it gets taken apart at its foundation for the fallacy of division that's being used, you're going to use 17 ad homs. That's what you'll do, ether believer, because you're scum. You're just out to dupe people into ether belief. You're a scummy liar, just like Jaron, Bob, Witsit, and all the other people who peddle this lie to dupe people. Now, maybe they don't. Maybe they're stupid. Maybe you're on the inside when you laugh about it. Maybe they're even more stupid. Or maybe you're dumb. You don't get that you've been duped. But my audience do, thanks to you. So while you might criticise my wanting to support my family while I'm suppressed left, right and centre for pointing out where people are scummy and they lie and they dupe people, yeah, in this instance, I'm making it clear for an audience who cares and can see that I care as I point out just how scummy the ether lie really is, as people like you laugh at that fact when you get caught out in your scummy deception about ether, and your constant diatribe of nonsense gets written down and read back to you. What do? You laugh, don't you, Johnny?
No, no, I'm not laughing. It's very...
You did laugh. Past tense, that's what you did. But you're a scummy liar, so you'll deny it.
Yeah, but not about...
Yeah, you are a scummy liar and you will deny it. You're here to lie about ether.
Oh, so I'm lying out...
Yeah, when you say, and I quote, it can be moving but doesn't have to be moving. It's the propagation. It can be straight. It lies in the coordination of the vibration. I'm going to call you a stupid, moronic, lying scumbag freak who can't even string together a non-sentence fragment-based claim. Yeah, you're a liar. This isn't ether. It's stupid shit you said. Yeah, liar? You think you've proven ether here. Liar? You laugh about it because you're a liar.
It can be moving. It can be still.
Johnny,
yes, but
do you go to Gem Pandas with this, Johnny?
No, he does not.
He doesn't bring this shit to Gem Pandas. Don't bring this shit here. I hear you on Gem.
That's a good point. Well done. I knew there's a reason we keep you around.
I didn't
Sorry, are you not trying to convert etherites into... Are you not trying to convert globe believers into etherite belief? Why aren't you in the Globe Earth servers peddling this?
Yeah, I'm fighting on the GM Panda everywhere. I'm telling the truth.
What was the show number? I'll have a listen.
You don't bring
what was the show number?
Everybody's coming. You just want to be
about ether there.
Yeah, let's find out the show number. I'll have a listen. If you say you've been on the Globe Earth servers to peddle this, what show number was it?
GM Panda.
GM Panda publishes his shit. He constantly goes live. What number was the show you were on, peddling this to Globe believers?
What do you mean?
I don't believe you. That's what I mean. I'm calling you out. I'm calling you a liar.
I lost. What are you trying to say?
That you're a liar?
No, stop stuttering and stop digging this hole deeper, man. Like, more lies isn't going to fix it. No, you didn't go on Gem Pandas. You lied about it, and now we're calling you out on it, and you're just stuttering harder. Stop it. Just stop it already.
Yeah, that's what you got to do if you're an ether believer. You're going to peddle this con.
What's the question? I'm
just summarising now. This is the kind of behaviour that you get from people who peddle ether. It's con artists, all of you. You're all prepared to lie at any cost. It doesn't matter what you're lying about. You're peddling ether, and that's all that matters. Liar.
It's not a lie. It's just...
what show number did you go on? What was the show number? Gem Panda's show number. What number was it?
I am there always. I am there often. So there's
give me one show number.
I have been on many
give me a show number where you argued this.
For what?
For you arguing it to the Globers?
I have done that several times. So there's not one.
They've gone all quiet. What's the show number?
So, how many shows?
You said you've been on many. It should be really easy. You said you've been on lots of them. You just said literally in the last 20 seconds that you've been on lots of them. So it should be dead easy to give me a show number where I can go. Or you could just talk through me. Like that Rumpus MO. You said you're not Rumpus. But you seem to have the very similar MO to him while I clarify. That you've just said in the last 30 seconds that you've been on lots of shows in response to us saying, so you've gone and claimed this for Globers to digest, have you? Yes, lots of shows. Give me one number now.
I don't.
Do you hear that laugh? He loves lying to you about ether. They love duping you, and there's that little telling laugh as he lies.
No,
sounds like Johnny's gone a little pathological on the lying here.
Yep. You're a pathological liar, Johnny. Because you're here to peddle ether with the same MO as Rumpus, just here to throw a cat amongst the pigeons. Yeah?
I don't care about the numbers.
If he went there, I wanted to know how they responded to him over at Gem Pandas, but he can't even give us a show number.
Do you know all the number of the show you have been on?
Right, let's reverse this burden. Quick, sharp, right? That's a burden of proof reversal fallacy. I know? Maybe I should back you. Maybe I should go looking through all of them that you've been on many times. Maybe I should do that.
I don't care because I am there very often.
Oh, you don't care to back your claim, you lying scumbag ether peddling garbage spewing idiot. You don't care to prove that. That's all right. It just means I've got total justification in calling you a liar. Pathological liar. The scum that we have peddling ether here. Yeah, and they're so determined. It's not like this is going to dissuade him. I mean, I'm up in the ante over and over again in terms of how I'm behaving towards him. It's not going to deter him, though, because he's got a mission. He's got an MO, a modus operandi. Peddle ether so he can laugh about it with his mates in the pub. But he's duped all those idiots into ether belief. Listen to the nonsense I told him today. Right? Listen to this, right? This is what I got. It was great. It's the propagation. You can call it straight, and it lies in the coordination of the vibration. It can be moving, but it doesn't have to be moving. That's ether right there. They love duping you dumbos who just come off the globe. They love it. They just want to swindle you.
There's no fucking number. I'm 3 times...
So don't get emotional. There's no need to get emotional about your stupid ether belief that's been disproven. Don't get emotional, Johnny. Just calm yourself, have a breath, stop stuttering, stop going so emotional. It's only a stupid ether belief.
Also be on his show, on the Sunday show.
Don't get so emotional,
I am
Johnny.
not there as a globe.
Johnny, just calm down. We know you're very emotional. I'll say it in a very relaxed tone. Just calm yourself.
Yeah, but
very emotional.
You are calling me a liar.
Yeah, you keep swearing. You can't keep it under wraps. You're getting irritated because you're losing badly. Your attempt to keep the etherite belief alive is failing.
So, are you happy now because I...
Maybe if I screamed at the microphone, I'll be happy about that. Don't get so emotional about it. Johnny, just calm down. Step away from the mic. Yeah, you don't need to offend my audience's eardrums with your rage about ether being stupid. Step away from the mic.
Could be ADHD.
ADHD, yeah, definitely.
And pathological liar about
Mic
petty things
control.
that he didn't need to.
They taught me that in college too, yeah? Yeah, you don't need to get too close to your mic there, just because you're very emotional.
Okay. So you're all of you fucking globetrot or egoists.
It's all right, calm down. You're getting very sweary there. Maybe you need to have a little moment. Maybe go back to the etherites, and they'll soothe your pain and tell you some more nonsense you can regurgitate here tomorrow. Okay, Johnny? Yeah, we'd love to hear more about how it's straight, but doesn't have to be straight. It's moving, but doesn't have to be moving, and it's the vibration of the coordination. Get some more of that and bring it here tomorrow so we can laugh at you then while you try and con people, but fail.
Let's give him some
Maybe I have to teach you. Because...
Teach me? No, you're not going to be doing that, sunshine. You're getting exposed. Ether's getting exposed. Now, maybe your MO didn't intend for ether to get exposed as really stupid, but that's what's happened, I'm afraid, my friend. Now, your determination is admirable. But you have lost admirably, and this has definitely been a blow to the etherite belief that you're trying to peddle.
Yeah, don't give him more pieces of the nonsense puzzle, Neil. Come on.
The intellectual honesty.
I didn't hear counter space.
The intellectual honesty difference between you, Nathan, and John Barnhardt right now is as different as the colours of black and white.
Who?
John Barnhardt.
Yeah, but
Johnny.
Everything is not black and white. You have to understand
no intellectual honesty whatsoever.
Like a Nobel causes is not black and white. A Nobel causes will tell you a lot of things and will give you answers to many things that we are talking about.
We're talking about intellectual honesty, Johnny.
Noble gases aren't black and white. Is that what you said?
It isn't black and white, really, is it?
Just try reverse psychology.
Let
me just try it. Try the reverse psychology. It might work. You don't. You just gotta try it. You don't know. You throw it out there sometimes. Get closer to your mic, Johnny.
Yes, and only ideal gases are black and white, not noble gases.
I mean this in the nicest. I mean this in the nicest possible way. You need to be institutionalized.
And with that, I'm going to say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making today's after show possible. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you in either Nathan Oakley 1980 or Nathan Oakley premiering streams. Hopefully smashing the super chat, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, joining as a Nathan Oakley 1980 channel member, and all that good stuff. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I will see you in an Etherite minute.
What a lovely day!